Turn up your radio, about to bring it.
YouTube and shit when there's a podcast going. By the way, oh, never mind. But yeah, no, I my brain shut off.
What's really good?
Yo,
what's really good, everybody?
What's really good? What's really good?
Welcome, hello, and how do you do? It's Roach Room Podcast,
episode 71.
I was just about to be like, I gotta look and see what episode it is. It's 71. We're going to be talking about primarily She-Hulk and House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
She-Hulk was very interesting this past week. Me and Mike actually hung out yesterday, and we watched it.
Yeah, we were able to fit it into the schedule.
Yeah. And I got to say that just like last week, when we reviewed episode 1, my biggest complaint about the episode is the time length. I just think it was
more.
Yeah, it was way too short. I'm not entirely sure. I
think we pretty much know why. Because they don't have the content.
Right.
That's why they stretch. Well, and again, now I don't really know why they would have done that. They have the content to do a good 6 episodes. Why did you do 9?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's to drag it out longer to keep people watching. I don't know.
Like I was bringing up yesterday, like that's just another week's worth of viewers that Disney can. Hey.
Yeah. Check that off.
I didn't notice it as much last week because I wasn't as into the show. But with this week, yeah, like it started, so things happening. Like, all right, I'm starting to get interested in what's happening, and it's over. And that's when I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. This week's episode was, in my opinion, it was pretty damn good. For the time length, I think a full time length is like 23 minutes, something like that.
With a
like
minute and a half recap
yeah.
in the beginning.
Which, in my opinion, I think it's a little disappointing. You get to episode 1 and it's like 42 minutes or whatever it was, or 37 minutes or whatever. It was around 40, and then it's like, here's a quarter of an episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought the point of doing streaming, like TV streaming stuff, was to negate the commercial aspect. And like, it's like you guys cut that literally down to a point where it would have had like 5 commercials throughout it. Like, and then it would have felt like a 40-minute episode, but it's not. So it's, yeah.
And it's weird, like it was both. Well, it's kind of like both episodes. The first one, the training montage, wasn't too exciting for me. Nothing was really happening.
Mm-hmm.
But at the courtroom, boom, something happens, and now it's over.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing here. Something happens, kind of, like, at least interesting characters' dialogue.
Yeah.
And then something, the Hulk happens, and then we're kind of like, we're done. We're like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, so I will say the second episode, it kind of, I guess you'd say, gets the She-Hulk character like to where I wanted her to be in episode 1, I guess I would say. Like, I mean, you, how do I put this? Like, she's involved with law in the second episode. Like, she's more, yeah. I particularly liked the way that they were going in the episode. I thought the pacing of things was a little touch and go on the episode, especially when in this one she's like looking for other jobs and stuff like that. And I thought the sequence of her looking for other jobs and whatever was just like really fast, so it felt like she was out of a job for like a day.
Yeah, it's definitely what it felt like.
Yeah. But I do want to point out that, like, when she does get her other job and she starts doing her thing, even the fourth wall breaks in this episode and stuff, I thought it was fine.
We're okay.
Yeah, like I like them. There's a cool sequence where she goes to a family dinner, and even though it's done a little hodgepodgey, I did like those scenes, and I liked the scenes with. I thought it was cool that in this episode they weren't like fucking punching you in the face with like fuck all men.
Yeah.
In this one, you get a really nice scene between Jen Walters, or whatever the fuck her name is, and her dad. And it's funny because, like, in the scene, they kind of break away from the whole entire family gathering, and it's like her dad does a really nice job of like checking in with her and just being like, I just want to make sure that you're okay
and all this,
and yeah, which honestly,
you're not the first Hulk in the family.
yeah, which I thought was a cool line. I was like, oh, that's interesting that they're like, yeah, we've dealt with Bruce being Hulk.
She's derivative.
Yeah, so I liked that, and I just thought the dad seemed really genuine.
Yeah, it was cool
in the speech or monologue, whatever. So that was really cool. But the episode, again, it's 23 minutes. It's really short, and me and Mike both, when we were talking yesterday, I think I can say for both of us, we both agree that this episode should have just been in episode 1.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think that if they would have had this at the end of episode 1, not only would it have it would have like nullified the punching in the face of like fuck all men.
Yeah.
It would have balanced it out a little bit more. That's the thing that we were kind of talking about last week too, is like
Just had more meat as an episode.
yeah, like
More things happen.
well, in like shows like Everyone Loves Raymond and King of Queens and stuff like that, where they do paint men in kind of a like dunce corner, I guess you would say. It just like all men are dummies, but they do in those shows they do a good job of establishing that it's not always men being a dummy.
Right.
And I think that if they would have included this 23 minutes in episode 1, it would have felt like I think Jen wouldn't have came across as arrogant because there were repercussions of her actions.
Either this would be one episode, or at least have released with episode 1. That way, again,
like if they would have did 2 at a time or whatever.
Right.
I agree with that. I definitely would say that if they did the release with either episode 1 and 2 back to back, or just having it all in one episode, I think that it just would have felt, I don't know, I guess you would say like bigger,
More succinct, more investment to it too.
Yeah. As well as in this episode 2 is what I'm talking about. There's we get not an answer, but I mean there's more with the Sicarian ship and stuff like
Sure
that.
is.
So I feel like, especially with episode 1, just having that one sequence in there,
Seemed super out of place.
yeah, if it would have included this in episode 1, I think it would have felt a lot more full, and I would have been cooler with having this sequence that we're talking about in episode 1, just because it would have been like, I don't know, like it just would have felt better, I guess.
I still hold to the fact that she should have gotten the powers closer to what the comics are, blood transfusion.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
if there
I
would have been
mean,
the car accident
yeah.
and she would have gotten the blood that way, or needed the blood that way,
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that the comic book of She-Hulk and her origin is done way more elegantly. Sorry.
I mean, I could see why they wouldn't want to do 2 cancer shows back to back. Thor was it, and then She-Hulk. I could see that.
I mean, yeah, but like just
That's
like,
where I'm
don't
saying
give
you
her
could
cancer. Just
That's what I'm
like,
saying. You
yeah,
could have the
just-
whole car accident the same way that it was.
Yeah, and she needs
And then
Bruce's
just-
blood in order to heal or whatever. It's I agree with that. I think the whole flux capacitor type machine that Bruce has and everything is such a fucking cop out for poor writing. I have this inhibitor on my wrist. It makes me Bruce.
Had.
Had.
It was a one of a kind. Can't do it again because we did not take notes.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's
No
the
clue.
thing is, it's like, it's there for when they're in the car, and then it's destroyed, and then it never comes back. And
Right.
and the other thing too was like,
It's like, hey, I just made this thing this morning. It's pretty cool, man.
yeah, and then it's done. For me, I felt like, again, it's just a stupid flux capacitor type machine, like where it's like there's literally
MacGuffin.
no explanation. You get the name of it. It's called an inhibitor, and like
It's exactly what it does.
he literally explains it as like, it keeps me as Bruce, like, and that's it. Like, cool, man, sweet.
It did.
Like, so like, ugh, yeah.
I just think it's funny the inhibitor chip keeps him as Bruce, but then like when it's broken, it goes to Smart Hulk, not straight to Hulk.
right.
It's a weird pit stop for me.
For me, yeah, it doesn't make sense, because I'm like, well, if you have a perfect control over yourself, why the fuck do you need to be Bruce? just doesn't make any sense. Is it easier to travel around? I don't fucking know. Like none of it was explained. So
No.
there's some continuity things with that for me that I'm just kind of like, that's really stupid. Especially, and we'll get into it when we talk a little bit of spoilers, but especially with him later on in the episode, I just was like, so how's that gonna work? But anyway, the episode in general, again, time length, big problem for me. I need it to be longer. I like Jen Walters. I think she's more likable in episode 2.
She's more likable. I don't necessarily like her yet.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, she's still arrogant and stuff like that, and it seems like, I don't know, she's just very abrasive sometimes on screen. Even as She-Hulk, like, it's just certain things where, like, I don't know, where she has certain lines where I'm just like, ugh, like,
Yeah.
I just don't think I would like you in real life. Like, if you were actually a superhero in the real world, just don't know if I'd like you, man. Like, I just
dangling from a cliff, and he comes back, I'm good.
Yeah. Wow. If I was dangling from a cliff, she'd probably be like, typical man dangling from a cliff or some shit like that. So I just hope that, again, and I said this last week, I think the show is good, but I want her to be, I don't know, more empathetic of everyone.
Yeah.
And she just comes off like a fucking arrogant asshole.
It's like, I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just like, and to me, the only time that she indicates that she gives a fuck is when it directly impacts her and her fucking prerogatives and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well then why the fuck should we care about you? You don't care about nothing else. Like, who cares? I mean, you didn't care about the bar that you broke. Like, so yeah. So there's certain things where, and I'm
oh yeah. Are we in spoilers?
No, we're not.
I missed it.
Not yet. I mean, the episode's short, so it's gonna be tough.
We pretty much already went over the whole thing.
I mean, yeah, we kind of did. But yeah, so I think in regards to her character and stuff, I'm hoping that the setup that we got in this episode 2, I'm hoping that something happens to her to where at the end of the season she is just I guess a different person, to where she's like changed and like has a better moral sense about her or something. I have a hard time
seeing that.
Well, I have a hard time wanting to like her. I really do. I think she's a hard character to like. And I think it's just primarily based on how she acts on film. And when I say that, I mean like how she's representing the character and how She-Hulk is written in general. I think the CGI looks fine, in my opinion. I think it looks good. We get a lot more of She-Hulk in this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's so short, because there's so much CGI in it. I don't know. But I do know that we get some sweet scenes in here scattered throughout the 23 minutes. They don't really flesh out who the girl was in the courtroom that like disturbed everything and broke through the wall and all that shit. They call her a superhero influencer. I don't remember.
Villain?
I mean,
Something.
yeah, something like that.
Something. It was like, yeah, but it hasn't heard influencer. I'm like, what?
Whatever.
And
I
what
know
were you
that.
doing at the court? Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Bust through the wall because.
I'm not. I know that character that person is supposed to be is a villain in the She-Hulk comics. I just don't think that they're. I don't know.
Doing that
like I don't think they're doing anything with it. So I don't really understand what the fucking. I mean, other than to get her to break in, and that's the reason why Jen Walters has to go into She-Hulk mode. I mean, like, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head as to why you're there. So in regards to that, like, cool beans, bro. Like, glad you got your check.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's cool. But yeah, in regards to the show in general, I still have high hopes for it. I think it's still gonna be good. I'm pretty much giving it until episode like 5 for me to be like
I feel
signing off or something like that. I don't know.
I feel like they're gonna be trying to do too much with not enough time, even though they have 9 episodes. With this,
Well,
if it
yeah, I
stays
mean,
on
if
this
they're-
23-minute,
yeah,
20-minute thing,
right.
yeah, I don't know. Because
Me
there's
either.
no Daredevil yet.
Well, I mean, like, for that kind of stuff, I mean, it is only episode 2.
Of 9.
Yeah. I mean,
7
we
more.
still got some time. Like I said, I'm waiting on all that kind of stuff until episode 5.
I'm just saying, like, you're supposed to have Daredevil. We're supposed to have this Frogman,
Leapfrog,
Abomination.
man. Come on.
What?
Leapfrog. Come on.
Leapfrog Man, whatever. Fucking Abomination, Wong, all the.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Wong yet. So literally, is it going to be like
you'll
2
see
lines?
Wong next.
Bruce?
Bruce is gone. Bruce is gone. You won't see him the rest of the series. Nah. No way. There's no way that he's in the rest.
We
of them.
thought that there was no way that there would be 2 episodes of The Mandalorian inside of Boba Fett.
Okay, good point.
So
I
doubt
still,
them. I don't see them doing that for the narrative. Like, we're not pulling away from her story. Chill with Bruce.
I think what they did
but-
with Bruce in episode 2, I think is a representation of what, like, that was them saying, like, you got your Hawk, he's gone now. He's what
going.
yeah,
Gone.
he's gone. He literally
was
is
chilling.
gone.
He was chilling.
And now he's gone.
Even when he was going, he was chilling, man. It wasn't like an abduction or anything
Oh,
like
no.
that.
Yeah,
like,
he's voluntarily
got
yeah,
some business.
Yeah, I gotta go take care of some stuff. Which again, I'm cool with that. I just don't know what they're like.
Baby
I no, I
He's going to see his baby.
nah, dude, fuck that.
He's going to see his Korg baby.
Korg baby.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, please don't.
It was a baby shower for Korg's
He's going to see Thor's
rock
kid.
thing. Yeah.
He's going to fly to
Steve.
wherever the fuck Thor is. New Asgard. Oh wait, that's on Earth. Never mind. Never mind. That's not what they're doing. Yeah, I just
It's Peter Quill's birthday. Gotta go out and see Peter Quill.
No, it's Jeff Goldblum's birthday. And that's why
Oh,
they,
yeah,
like,
it could
hey,
be.
it's a birthday. Wouldn't that be, dude? That would have been funny as shit if they're on the road in
It's
episode
my,
1.
it's
and
my birthday.
Yeah, and Sicarian ship comes down, and it's just like a hologram of Jeff Goldblum, like, hey, my champion, I just wanted to invite you to my birthday party, and they like veer off the road and die. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Sorry. But yeah, so
Hologram pops up in the car explaining this. And they're like,
And
"Wait,
he's
what?"
like,
And he's like,
"Whoa,
I'll be
whoa."
sending my ship to pick you up. And then it's
they start rolling down the hill, and
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's like, "Wow, holy moly, this is getting
after the
wild.
crash, like, oh, that was not good. Not
Yeah,
good at all. Not good. Not
that
good.
was a little dicey. I'm gonna go now." Yeah. So I
Listen to
mean,
this keyboard solo. Do, 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 do.
right. Yeah. So anyway, in regards to the episode, though, I mean, I figure we just get into spoilers, but do our final verdict on like the episode. and just-
Spoilers.
So final verdict for the episode for me. I think last week I gave it a 6. I think
Or a 7.
it was a.
Maybe a 6. Maybe it was a 10.
I'm shaky on.
It wasn't a 10.
No, there's no way. I'm shaky on whether I gave it a 6 or a 7, but either way, I think that episode 2 is a solid 7. I think I can't, again, if I gave episode 1 a 6, this one is better. So I think it's a step in the right direction. It had more stuff that I wanted to see from She-Hulk, and I thought that what she was doing in the episode was interesting.
Yeah.
I liked certain things that was in this episode, like, there's a bar scene, and, obviously because She-Hulk has a higher metabolism than Jen does, she's like drinking and stuff, and then she has to talk to somebody and goes back to Jen Walters' form after she's been drinking, and she's acting drunk as hell because, different metabolism. She even says different metabolism. So
yeah, but like, wouldn't the alcohol already been metabolized while?
Well, no, because she like just drank it, right?
Oh,
Zoe.
are we in spoilers?
No.
See?
Zoe.
Zoe just wants to be in spoilers.
Come on.
Zoe won spoilers. She didn't get to watch it. It's fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
you didn't miss too much.
No,
It's
you missed
23
23 minutes.
Watch it
We'll tell you
later.
about it now, Zoe.
Yeah, so final verdict for this one, for me, 7. I think it's better. I think it's better than episode 1. I wish that it would have been in episode 1. I probably would have gave episode 1 a higher rating.
Yeah,
So.
I'll say whatever I said last week.
I think
Plus
you gave
one.
you gave it a 5 last week, so 6.
Something. That.
Yeah.
I get, like, I agree that this should have either been in episode 1, part of episode 1, released alongside episode 1, because we just needed more context. I'm wrecking shit over here.
It's fine, dude.
Yeah, so I guess it kind of still middle of the road to me, and that's just because it's like, hey, some things are happening, but not much. And even for an episode 2, it's not like much has happened yet.
Right.
So, yeah, it's whatever. We're wrecking. Everybody's wrecking stuff. Look, but you can come up here. Oh, come up here.
God.
Oh yeah. Zoe. All right, so yeah, that's it for me. No,
Dude.
Zoe. No, Zoe.
Stop.
Hey, Zoe. I'm petting you right
Go harass Nick.
now.
Go harass Nick. Ooh.
Oh, time to investigate.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so, like I said, it's a notch up for me. But, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think it still has a lot of potential. For me at least, it has characters in it that, I really enjoy, like Abomination and Daredevil and She-Hulk. Don't mind me, I'm just yawning.
We haven't seen this Daredevil yet.
No, we haven't, not yet. Which will be the first time Daredevil is on screen, not Charlie Cox.
Right.
Which would be cool. I don't know if I'm going to be a fan of the yellow and red suit. Not really entirely sure why they did that. But
Isn't it comics accurate?
I mean,
I'm sure at one point in time it was an iteration
of him. Yeah, with I mean, sure, but
that's what an AI thought Daredevil's outfit.
Right. Yeah. So, in regards to spoilers, let's just talk about what we liked and what we didn't like in regards to spoilers. I don't really want to break down the entire episode.
We already did.
What?
We already did, essentially.
Not really.
Yeah, we did.
All right. Yeah, the only scene that I want to mention then is the Emil scene.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about that one.
No, yeah, where She-Hulk in this.
Oh, you got, well, I was going to say, you got to start before the Emil scene.
With what?
With her outside. No superpowers inside.
Oh, I
She
didn't
has
really
to go
care
down
about any
into
of
the.
that.
Well, but it doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
She walks up to the door in Hulk form.
Yeah.
You can't come in here like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're allowed in, and then you
yeah.
walk through some fucking red phasey door thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that didn't really make any sense.
oh,
to
the
me.
guard walked through. Is she gonna be? Yeah, she's able to walk through it because it doesn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, I I don't know. I for shit like that, I,
It was dumb.
yeah. I mean, you're right.
Because what stops her from being in there and go busting him out of here if she wanted to?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, it don't. And then with the implications, it's implications. There's always implications. At the end of the episode, we haven't heard from Abomination's lawyer yet, speaking about him breaking out and going to fight clubs.
Yeah. So, well, in regards to that, they really haven't, like, nobody knew Abomination was doing that.
No, but
until
like
Shang-Chi.
But maybe Wong like showed up to the facility like at the door, sling ringed in at the front door, and they were like, "Hey, no magic in here." He's like, "All right," and they go in there, and then he sling rings them out.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something silly like that.
It'd
Like,
be Silly Willy.
I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I do know that I do like what?
Apparently, according to this, the title did not change.
Oh, well, that's annoying.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
we're still here.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Fuck it.
It just caught my eye on the phone. I was like, wait, what? Then yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, so we haven't gotten, so like if you've watched Shang-Chi, there's a scene where there's an underground fight club and Wong is beating the shit out of Abomination.
Right.
And after that, they leave the fight club and they sling ring into what we now know is the facility that is the facility, the prison that we now know is holding Abomination. And at the end of the day, like, I don't, where it's, somebody leaks footage to the media of Abomination fighting in a cage match. That's why I'm saying we're probably going to get Wong in the next episode, because Jen is going to question Wong and be like, what the hell, dude? Like, what were you doing? So that'll be interesting to me. I didn't really mind the whole sequence of that where it was like somebody leaked media footage, because Jen like thinks everything is going to be cool. She's talking to her boss in this scene and she's like saying like, I already got a good strategy, sir. Like, I think this thing is 100% in the bag. And he's like, you might want to check the news, dude. And she's like, oh shit. And then she turns to the camera and is like, well, that sucks. And then the episode ends. And I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was a pretty nice, like, wrap to the episode, with her breaking fourth wall and being like, well, next week's going to be terrible. So
I do want to find out, because Abomination was talking about his 7 soulmates that he wants to live on, like, a land with. And I think that that's a ruse.
I don't exactly know what he's talking about when he's saying that, to be honest.
I'm thinking it's the group that he's going to join, whatever that may be. Be
it's
it
either
Thunderbolts
that,
or whatever, but
it's either that or it's in reference to him saying that he's spiritually changed and
no,
stuff
I mean,
like
I
that.
get,
like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
I get that, but like the way he delivers the lines, and like also them doubling down twice saying it. It's me and my 7 soulmates.
It's probably a hint to Thunderbolts, like you were saying. Especially because we were talking about yesterday, they don't have Ross anymore. The actor who played Ross passed away, R.I.P.
Correct.
And so it's just, I don't know. I don't really know where they're gonna go with it. I have a feeling like at the end of this season, like I've stated in hopes before, I think Abomination's gonna break out and She-Hulk is going to be the one who has to battle him. And I think he is going to destroy a city or try to, or do something like that. I think his whole spiel about being reformed and you're not going to see Abomination a lot. I can choose whether I want to be him or not. I think that's all bullshit. I think he's
Think he's
lying.
got an inhibitor chip?
No, I don't think that. I think him and Abomination probably have a deal where it's like he's talked to Abomination.
See, again,
like,
now this
look,
is getting
I
down a
need you
fucking
to...
rabbit hole, man.
What?
Oh my god.
I mean,
So-
that's what Bruce does with Hulk.
Yeah, I know, but she don't have it. Like that's. It started to not make sense to me.
You gotta get over that.
It's
That's
not-
something that, like, even in the comics, she does not have.
I understand, but
alter
how
ego.
does Abomination? How's that
Because
not
he
Emil
got the
Blonsky?
same amount of gamma radiation injected into him as Bruce. She did not. So she has 1/4 of Bruce's power. And when I say that, I'm not talking about strength or, clapping and making waves or whatever the fuck. I'm talking about Hulk. There is not a Hulk in her, is what I'm saying. Like, and it's because she only got a little bit of his blood in there. Like, that's just it. Like, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, like there is no, and I mean, if they had been posing that there is somebody else there throughout episode 1 and 2,
Like a second coffin or something.
yeah,
Or
like a
sarcophagus.
like a Moon Knight type thing,
Yeah.
then I'd be like, okay, we can go down the rabbit hole. But in this case, they've made it very clear that there is
It's not.
nobody else
Yeah.
behind the scenes here who's like puppet mastering
Oh,
kind
I
of
know.
shit.
Yeah.
With Bruce and Abomination, they are both the same thing. It's just Hulk is more powerful than Abomination. Just because. Because
Oh.
Bruce is better at absorbing gamma radiation than Emil is.
Yeah.
So in regards to that, I think Emil is lying, and he's lying because him and Abomination probably have a deal where it's
To get out.
yeah, where it's you stay in the background, let me do the talking because you're Abomination and people don't like you. Like, let me talk, and then when we get out, I'll let you do some shit. Like, I think that's what's going on right now.
Like a Venom type agreement.
Yeah, 100%. Where it's like, we have a deal to where it's like, Emil's going to get me out of this fucking prison because I don't want to be here anymore. And, we both get to get out, and I'll get to cause some mayhem and live free, and Emil gets to live his life. So I think that's what's primarily going on. And that's why I think people like Leapfrog and Daredevil and whoever the fuck else they're going to put in the goddamn series, but I think that's where they all come into play, is where at the end I'm thinking that Abomination's going to go haywire, and She-Hulk is going to need the help of Daredevil and possibly Leapfrog to take care of it, is what I think. I
don't
could
think
be
they're going to
completely
take care
wrong.
of it.
Maybe not.
I think
Maybe
he's
not.
going to get away.
Who, Abomination?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be cool. I love Abomination, and I'm not gonna lie, Tim Roth as Abomination is so awesome.
Even just him as Emil Blonsky was really good.
Yeah.
I liked what he said, what he was saying, and
Yeah, it's a very Wanda line that he delivers where he's like,
It's not fair.
your brother, or not your brother, your cousin.
The threat.
Yeah, and that entire monologue, like that line in particular that you were talking about, was interesting to me, because I was like, oh shit, I didn't really even think about it like that. Like, he literally was a soldier. He was following orders from the government. And
Yeah.
he was trying to eliminate a threat, which was Bruce.
But it's a half-hearted explanation, because at the same time, like, yes, that is true. He had orders. He was pumped with the serum. Da-da-da. At the time, like, he was all about just wrecking the Hulk, though. Like, that's what he wanted to do.
Well,
And he was going against orders,
in
and
the
like,
movie,
no,
yeah.
I'm going. So that's where it's like, yes, you're right, and that's a good defense. That's a good legal defense. It's not entirely true though. Like
Facts,
it is, but
yeah.
it isn't.
Yeah, well,
You're nitpicking the true parts of that.
yeah, and I mean, Jen even says in the conversation, she goes, "Well, and then after you fought the Hawk, you went on a citywide rampage, and we
To me, though,
that's not
To
what
me,
the government wanted."
to me, it sounded like she was trying to put together whether the serum is what caused it. Like, wait a minute, should we be going after the government for this?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the government fucked
yeah,
you up?
yeah,
Not that it was like that wasn't the government doing that.
yeah.
I wanted to see like, all right, well maybe we'll look into this. You were given the super soldier serum.
Well, I mean, she even says that too. She was like,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute, the government gave that to you
Right.
and like pumped you up of that? Like I didn't know that. Like, so I think like there are some hidden truths here that does make you kind of understand where Emil is coming from. Where it's like, you know, I don't forget what kind of like soldier he was, but it's like on this upper
Just
echelon
special forces,
Yeah,
he said he's highly decorated. And
Yeah, something like that, where it's like, I'm this kind of soldier. My government gives me orders to do this. I tell them I'm willing to take the superhuman serum. They pump me full of it. I turn into this wild ass monster, and they tell me to kill the Hawk.
Mhm.
And I go and do it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then you know, the question that she asked is like, well, then after that you went on a citywide rampage. So like, what's the
'Cause he
deal with
didn't
that?
kill
And he's like, yeah, he was like, because I was mad that I didn't get him, and like I didn't know how to control it at that time, and like stuff like that. So it was just interesting hearing those different sides to it, and hearing the line of like, your cousin does exactly what I do. He destroys an entire city, and then he becomes part of the Avengers, and he's a hero.
Yep.
So how is that fair? I'm locked away in this prison. Everybody thinks that I'm a piece of shit, and like,
Well, immediately following the Hulk movie, he wasn't a hero. He fled, and then they were like, "Hey, we might need this guy."
oh right. Well, yeah,
So-
yeah. But I mean, in regards to Abomination, it's
Why
like,
they didn't use Abomination, I don't know.
well, because they already deemed him a villain. Like
That was their fault, though. They had him, could have used him.
Well, and I mean that might be where the Thunderbolts go into play, where it's like, hey, like, you might not be able to live free, but
You'll be our Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
like,
we can put you on a team, and
we can
maybe
put
you
an
can become a
inhibitor
hero.
chip in your neck. And
Yeah, or,
Detonate
I
it.
don't know. I just thought it. I don't. I like. I love the Hulk, and I love the villains that Hulk's universe has. In regards to things like Red Hawk and Abomination and the Thinker and like stuff like that. I just like those characters. I think they're fun and they're interesting and they're good comic book villains and stuff. So when I get to see Abomination or, you know, AKA Emil get fleshed out more and have more
was good.
story to him, it was cool.
Yeah.
I also did really like the line, fucking fly, man, it's contagious.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, I know, dude, it's so annoying. But the other line that I really did like was, oh my god, I just had it, dude, and it just fucking left me.
It
God damn
flew
it.
away?
Yeah, it literally did. It is the fly.
Fly got it.
The fly got it. Son of a bitch. I can't remember.
Man.
Yeah.
No, not that
for
long.
real. Man, yeah, I can't remember it, to be honest. Oh well. But yeah, I really liked the Emil scenes. And I thought that seeing Tim. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So there's a line that after the meet with Emil, Jen calls Bruce to pretty much kind of like get his approval to take the job
Yeah.
of representing him. But and we know this, like, she's gonna do it anyway.
Oh yeah.
She just wants to. I mean, and I completely understand where she's coming from. It's like you don't want to ruffle any feathers, but at the same time, it's like you need a job. Like, so it's like one of those things where, like, she's doing this in regards to making sure that her and Bruce are still good. Like,
I somewhat disagree, though, because there was not a single instance in her conversation with Bruce that she allowed him to get a word in. So that was when at the end we goes, "You're not calling me to see if I'm okay with it. You're calling me to tell me that you're taking the job."
Yeah, but
that was the whole point of it.
But I think I'll agree.
And he was cool with it.
Yeah.
Got a really heartfelt haiku.
That was a fucking hilarious time.
My tiny is here. Like, just stop you there.
When Emil starts, he's like, I actually have a bunch of haikus for all of the victims.
All of my victims.
And when he starts reading off the haikus, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was fucking awesome.
I was waiting to hear the rest.
I was laughing.
But my tiny is here.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'll just relax on that. So I loved that, and then Bruce references, he wrote me a really nice letter back in the day, and he wrote me a really heartfelt haiku, and everything's put past us now. And then he has the line that I love in this, just because of the entire. I mean, everybody that's a Marvel fan knows about the whole Edward Norton situation with Hawk, and he literally says, I was literally a different person back then. And she goes, ha ha, like that. And when I first heard the line, I was like, ha ha, like, and then it registered to me later on, and I was like, oh my fucking God, he's talking about being Edward Norton. Like, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't catch on to that. I figured like I was Bruce Banner, not the Hulk or Smart Hulk.
More like I was Edward Norton. I wasn't Mark Ruffalo back then.
Yeah.
So like,
that's funny.
For me, I thought that line, especially just because of the history with the Hulk character and them trying to get the rights, and then Edward Norton not being willing to do the Avengers and stuff like that. It was just, for me, I was just like, God, that's such a perfect line, just because of all the bullshit that we've had to go through as Marvel fans, like being like, who is the Hawk now? Like, and stuff like that. So I thought that was really funny and on the nose and warranted. I really enjoyed that. But I'm hoping that next week's episode is Jen questioning Wong at the headquarters that she's at, hopefully, and then I hope that she goes back to the prison and we get more of Emil and Jen together. I really
to fit in 20 minutes.
No, I want the episode to be longer. But I really did enjoy both of them on screen. I thought Tim Roth and the woman who plays Jen, thought that they had really good chemistry on camera. The scenes worked for me. I just think as the show progresses on, maybe it's just a slow roll right now, and it's weird because the pacing is so like bop 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 bop. But
I am Pug. Fuck, that just popped in my head.
Oh Jesus, yeah, the guy who makes a gift basket. Yeah, he's a little weird.
Just comes in the room fucking weird as shit.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I am Pug.
He reminded me of the do you remember you seen the old Mummy movie with what's his fucking name?
Fraser or not Fraser?
Brandon Fraser. Yeah. He reminds me of the dude who is like the scumbag guy in those movies. You remember what I'm talking about? Yeah. The guy who's like, I forget what Brandon Fraser's name even in the movie is, but it's the dude who
Mummy
like
Hunter.
He has like the like red hat on that looks like Abu's hat and Aladdin.
Fez? No, not a Fez.
I'm not sure. I don't know what it's called. That's why I called it the Abu hat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he reminded me of that guy. I was just like, ugh, like you fucking slime ball.
Name's Pug.
Yeah.
What kind of fucking name is Pug?
Hey man, whatever.
Oh, I'm a dog.
Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter's name is Apple. So we just, we here. Pug. Sounds good, brother.
Yeah, but like,
keep making those gift baskets, brother. Let's go.
God.
You destroyed it. He did a good job.
With a map with the best place for pooping.
Yeah, that was funny. I thought that was funny.
I thought it was the dumbest shit ever.
I thought it was funny because of both girls' reactions, where they were both like, "Oh, nice." Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, Yeah.
I mean, I would have figured it would have been the women's restroom that's on that floor. Because where else are you going?
Dude, sometimes I can guarantee you. I
Hidden
mean, I've never
bathrooms.
been in a woman's restroom before, but I bet you people are dropping stankers in there, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
I've done work installation wise in a lot of office buildings, and it's not a lot of just like, here's just a bathroom. Usually they're right in.
Yeah, but I
Like-
mean, I don't know, bro. Like, when I'm in a bathroom and it's a public setting, and like it's a public restroom, and other people are using the bathroom the same time as me,
Yeah.
it's horrifying to me.
Oh well, yeah. No,
I
get
hate
that.
when you get in there and you hear like, oh, or like stuff like that, and I'm like, what is going on
like,
over there?
So but that's what I'm saying. Like this dude who's bringing the card of like,
He
here's
just
the
knows,
best.
bro. He's HR.
I understand, but like, aren't you giving that to everybody?
No, dude. Special treatment. She-Hawk. Come on, man. What if it's like a super big bathroom because she's like 10 feet tall?
We made it just for you.
Yeah, literally, yeah. It's your own private bathroom. I'd be cool with it. I'm into it. Whatever. I don't know. That scene didn't bother me. I thought it was funny.
I hated him. Hi, my name's Pug.
Sorry, Pug.
Just the
You didn't
way
do
that
it
he
for my...
had to creep in.
He was a little creepy.
It was
I mean,
fucking
so,
weird. He
but
slinked into the door.
I won't even lie to you, though, and I said this to you yesterday. That type of shit, like the way that dude acts and the gift basket and all that shit, that's real. That is...
I can't see the way
Dude.
he acted. No, like the gift
Yes.
basket thing, I understand.
Bro, the last job that I was just at, the people,
I'm
the people
Pug.
who are involved in like HR and stuff like
Well, they
that,
were weird people. Yeah.
they are fucking crazy, and they act just like that. And like, yeah, and you
I
have
don't
to
think
put
they
on
slither through the fucking door like. Hi, my name's
No,
Pug.
I'm telling you, they are. They're like that.
Is their name Pug?
No. I'm not going to tell you who the person's names that were at my last job were, but I'm telling you now, they were fucking weirdos. And it was one of those people that you had to put on a smile and act like you gave a fuck about what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Is the kind of like, which is what that guy reminded me of. I was like, yep, that's typical office behavior. Like I just, yeah, real weird type shit.
Real
Didn't like
weird.
it. Didn't like it. But yeah,
But you liked it in this.
yeah, because I thought it was accurate. I was like, yeah, she's at a high end law firm. They probably do have a guy that just
They
chills
have a
in his
Pug.
office that makes gift baskets for new employees, and
That's all he does.
yeah, that's why he's so fucking weird. He's making gift baskets.
We
all
haven't
the
had a
time.
new person here in 6 months.
Yeah,
It's the first
well,
time I got to make a gift basket.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for that guy alone too, and it's like the person that is new in your office and stuff is a famous superhero now that just like
Yeah.
got revealed. So there's probably like some pressure and shit. So he's probably like, I am
I'm
Pug.
Pug.
Whatever, man. Maybe he's attracted to her. I don't know. It seems like a lot of dudes are in this show.
Oh yeah.
So
Why wouldn't they be?
I'm into
And it's
her.
their fucking fault for it.
I think she's hot. I think she looks
You're
hot.
part of the problem.
Oh well. She
You
can
see?
pick me up, toss me around. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-mm.
Do it. I don't give a shit, bro.
Mm-mm.
I'll order those fries to go, baby.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yes, sir.
No.
I'm all about it, bro. I don't give a fuck. You want to completely take my man card away? Do it, She-Hulk. I'll let you do it for a night. Like, let's go. I don't give a fuck, bro. Make me, throw me through the wall. Make it look like Wile E. Coyote went through the wall, bro. I'm down. I don't
No.
give a fuck, bro.
No.
Sheesh. She's hot, dude.
That's fine. It's
I don't
not
give a
worth a
fuck.
fucking broken back. Getting thrown
it
through
is.
studs. I don't think so.
Bro, I haven't had sex in a long time.
Yeah, but that's
It'd be
not getting
worth
thrown
it.
through a wall.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
Let's role play. I'll be Thanos. What are you gonna do to me?
Ripped your head off.
Yeah, for real. Just like
Eh,
Thor.
I'm done playing.
Yeah. I didn't think that was gonna happen. It's just like my head like looking around. Fuck.
Fuck.
I did not account for this. Yeah, but I'm into it. I think it's cool. I think the next episode, hopefully we get more of Emil and Wong, and
I would say
and-
probably she's gonna go to Emil first. Be
Yeah,
like,
but-
hey,
yeah.
what's going on with this? And he'd be like,
Wong.
talk to Wong, buddy.
Yeah. And I think next week we're probably gonna get the sequences of her on like Tinder and stuff like that, because she's gonna make a press statement. She has to make a press statement next week as She-Hulk, and I think a lot of people are gonna be like, She-Hulk's hot, and like stuff like that next week.
Well, they already were. They were
Yeah,
chanting
but
in
I
the
think
bar.
we're gonna get the scene from the trailer with the dude. She meets up with the
Oh,
dude
yeah.
and the
Well,
fries to go.
I
And
would
she's on Tinder and shit like that.
I would say it's probably episode.
Yeah.
That I mean, we're like still on somewhat of the ramp up
Yeah.
of things. There's gonna be a lull. There's gonna be at least a filler or two episode. Something
Probably.
happen
Yeah.
and then cap off. So
Probably.
yeah.
We'll see. Other than that, though, like, I mean, I'm into it. I think it's cool. Again, my biggest complaint with the show, literally just the time length. I just want it to be longer. I enjoy the show. I think it's heaps and bounds better than Miss Marvel, in my opinion. But again, Miss Marvel was not created for 30-year-old dudes watching Marvel shit.
Neither was this show, my opinion.
I mean, correct. I just think the subject matter is a little bit more relatable to me because the characters are older. So I relate to things more than, a love triangle in high school.
Well, yeah, but like, for me so far, 2 episodes in, I don't know what to classify this show as. It sure as hell ain't no lawyer show, because they're barely
Actually,
lawyering.
For me,
It has
it's
that
an
as a
action
premise.
comedy.
Well, I haven't seen the comedy, but
Well, hold on there. You've seen
I see
the comedy.
I see the
I don't
attempts at
think-
comedy.
I don't think the comedy is landing for you. Is what?
But that's where it's like it's got
That.
feet in both camps, and they don't know how to really do either one.
To me, this again, just my personal opinion. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think that the comedy, for me, 60% of the time lands. The other 40%, it's not funny. And then the action for me in episode 1, I was totally cool with. The lawyer scene was the courtroom scene was lackluster. Sure.
Yeah.
But everything else that I saw, and I have to point it out, the Hawk's worst arch nemesis now is a Jeep Wrangler. So, like that, yeah, that scene, was silly, but the sequences between her and Smart Hulk were fine. I thought they were good.
Yeah.
I liked seeing both of them fight each other, even if it had some comedic relief in it and stuff like that, where she pulls back the tree and shoots the coconuts at his face or whatever. Like, I mean, for me, I chuckled at that. I was like, yeah, like whatever. Like, yeah. So
I see what you tried to do.
like, again, I just don't think the jokes are landing for you like they're landing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the haiku shit in this past episode
It's
or
fine.
episode 2, funny as shit to me.
It also wasn't her that said it, so
Well, I
That
mean,
had
yeah, it
something-
doesn't
it-
have
that-
to.
that's where. But I guess where it gets into like the acting and delivery and shit like that. It's like I don't like her.
I mean, I don't know. I think in regards to jokes in general, it doesn't matter who's doing them or whatever. Like, when they land, they land. When they don't, they don't.
See, that's where I disagree with that. A joke, you can write a joke down on paper. It depends on who delivers it and how they deliver it
Yeah.
to where it's gonna land.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, for me, 60% of the time they do. Like the post-credit scene in episode 1.
I
I
thought
thought
that was dumb. Yeah.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, you and me don't see eye to eye on the comedy aspect. I think that some of it is really funny.
Mhm.
I think the other portions of it really dumb. But I do find myself laughing and chuckling, and saying like, that was pretty cool. Like, or stuff like that. We at the end of the episode when she's talking to Bruce on the phone, it's established that the Sicarian ship was coming down there specifically for Bruce or Hulk or whatever.
Somebody.
And he's like going back to that place.
Going back to Cali.
Yeah. So, and I think he's blasting off, and I don't think we're gonna see him again for a while.
I just think that'd be really dumb.
I think that's exactly what's happening now.
If they don't at least have something at the end, or even in one of these post fucking credit scenes or whatever that addresses it.
I don't think in my opinion, I don't think they will. I think that was.
But there's no properties, at least that we know of, for a single Hulk thing or that Hulk is supposed to be.
They physically can't do it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of rights.
I think that's them stating, like, he's going to be here until we get the fucking rights to do something about it. My other thing, I guess my biggest thing is, or not biggest thing, but one of the things that I guess I would say I'm worried about is things like Mark Ruffalo's age and stuff like that. I'm like, how long are you going to be the Hawk for, man? Because, like, for me, I'm like, we've only gotten the Hawk once. Like the true Hawk once.
Ragnarok?
Yeah. I mean, where he was legitimately just Hawk.
Well, Avengers.
No. I'm not talking about.
He hopped around.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm talking.
Take the stairs, big guy. That's Infinity War.
That's
Endgame.
Yeah, that's Endgame. But I'm talking primarily about like the Hulk being cognitive and being like, having conversations with people as Hulk.
Me don't like this.
And yeah, and it's like, no, you stay, and like stuff like that. I want that. I want more of that. That's what we should be getting.
Smart Hulk.
No, fuck that. Well, yeah, but I mean, I get I get the devil's advocate thing. Like, that's what's happening right now. It's Smart Hulk.
Big
but
Hulk.
I don't know in relation to rights or whatever the fuck. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. So.
I don't think they do either.
Well, I think they do. I think they're going to buy them fucking rights up immediately once they can.
Who's fucking holding on to them? Universal?
Fox.
I thought they own Fox.
They do, but they don't own, like, it's like how they own Spider-Man. It's like a joint thing. And so, like, Fox is like, we still own this, and this in relation to Hulk. So you can't do this, and this.
Okay.
Like with
That's
Spider-Man.
Like he can only be a supporting character.
Correct.
He cannot be a main character.
Correct.
Whatever.
So, like, just in regards to Spider-Man, like...
Why can't we just have a Hulk that's a supporting character?
I mean,
like,
we did.
We did. Why can't we again? Okay, there's another Crisis.
Because that's all he's been doing. That's all he's done since...
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
I mean, yeah, like, that's all he's... Even in Ragnarok, he was a supporting character.
Oh, I know. Like, I'm saying, I'm fine with him being a supporting character. Why can't we get Hulk back?
Well, because I think a lot of the Marvel fans, myself included, want a fucking solo Hulk movie, and we want Planet Hulk, and we want World War Hulk, and all of that kind of shit, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, you're talking about one of the characters in the Marvel MCU that's one of the most powerful beings in all of the MCU. He's super fucking smart. He's right on Tony Stark's level of being smart. He's super interesting. His villains are super interesting. I mean, like, everything about the character, in my opinion, works. Make the fucking solo movie, goddamn. Like, every other character that's been in the Avengers has had 4 fucking movies.
Hulk vs. G.
Hulk in the Jeep world. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's where it kind of stems from, is that Feige and all of those other people at Disney and Marvel are like, yeah, we want to give Hulk his own movie. Every other Avenger has had their own. I mean, Black Widow has her own goddamn movie.
It's true.
Hulk
Took her
does
to die
not.
to get one, but
Hulk does not. The OG Edward Norton Hulk movie is canon,
It is.
but it's not at the same time. Like, it is canon.
Well, 100% is now. It's getting recanonized.
Right, yes. But I'm saying, like, in regards to
Multiverse
being a Hulk film, it's not, like, high up on the list. And it's not even Mark Ruffalo's Hulk.
No, it's not.
So, in my opinion, I look at Ragnarok Hulk, and I go, that's the Hulk that I want in a solo film. And you can do it. We know this.
Do it.
We know this because it worked in Ragnarok. Like, seeing Hulk on screen with Chris Hemsworth and other Crims.
The lesser known brother of the Hemsworths.
Yeah.
Crims.
Hey guys, I'm Crims.
Quizzy.
But yeah, in relation to, you know, him being on screen with other characters and stuff like that, they may. I mean, shout out to the team that made Ragnarok and Taika Waititi on Ragnarok for making that shit work, because it did.
Yeah.
I thought it was beautifully done, and I thought that they showed Hulk. That was pretty much Planet Hulk's Hulk. That's what happens in Planet Hulk, is that he winds up on a different planet and he just fucking
right. So we're gonna do this again.
Well, World War Hulk is different from that. Yeah, like where that's
World Breaker Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, it's pretty much Hulk versus a lot of other Hulks and stuff like that.
Baby Hulk.
No, I'm talking like mainly like Red Hulk and
She-Hulk.
No, I don't think She-Hulk's involved in World War Hulk. She-Hulk stays on Earth, my dog. Like, and the only time that she comes off planet is in Secret Wars, dude.
Oh, when it's going down. Gotcha.
Yeah.
The plot line they'll never do.
Yeah, probably not. But it would be dope if they did. I mean, I'd be down. Let's see it. But yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen in relation to all that shit. I just know that the movie, I mean, not the movie, the episode was pretty good.
Should be movie.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the case. It should be just a fucking movie, and it would have been done with, not the show.
She-Hulk.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
It just wouldn't seem so truncated
from the time length of what we're getting episode wise. Like, if next week is 30 minutes, I'm gonna be like, yeah, should have just been a 2-hour and 20-minute movie,
right?
And I mean, I guess that's what, I don't know. That's what they do with these shows, is that they film them like movies. They film them. They pretty much are movies. But you know.
Well, I would say Moon Knight wasn't. WandaVision wasn't. Loki wasn't.
Moon Knight was for sure a movie.
I don't think so. I think it was pretty episodic.
I only know this because the directors behind it are two of the like weird cosmic horror type guys that's like all the films that they make.
Mm-hmm. And
I've watched countless interviews with them saying like the way that we shot this was 1000% just like a 3-hour long movie. So it's just with Moon Knight. I know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying there is still like with Moon Knight, each episode holds a particular weight. There's a certain thing that happens. It leaves you on a cliffhanger. Yeah. To a degree, this one kind of does.
Well, I think that's, for me, I look at that and I go, well, they just got better editors on Moon Knight. Yeah. I mean, they Moon Knight was awesome. Moon Knight was a show that was a do not miss type of thing. Like when it came out, you wanted to watch it. You didn't want to wait. You wanted all the details. You wanted to know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is not that yet for me. I do get excited when I see a new episode's out and stuff like that.
But you're not running right off to watch it.
Well, in some aspects, yes, because when I saw that a new episode came out, the first thing I did was I looked at the time length. And then when I saw the time length was so short on the second episode, I got disappointed and I was like, I'll just wait.
Right.
For me, if it would have said 45 minutes, I would have been like, fuck yeah, I'm watching this right now. Like, I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest quarrel with She-Hulk as a show, is that it's just too short. It's too short. That's probably why they got 9 episodes, is they're dragging it out.
Right.
P.S. Hold that thought, because I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Bathroom!
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess... I don't know. I'm done with She-Hulk, I guess. I don't know.
Done with it. Yeah.
I mean, when I say that, I mean, like, I'm done
no,
talking about it.
discussing it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I got you.
When I come back, let's talk about House of the Dragon.
Oh, yes, House of the Dragon, which, hold on, we got something for that. Well, no, we don't. We don't have anything for that. Yeah, so House of the Dragon was last week, the premiere episode. Oh boy, did we have a fun time watching it. And if you're watching this now and you're interested in watching it along with us, we've been doing a watch party. 9 o'clock, I think we usually start. We'll get in there a little bit early, but everybody queues up at 0 and hit start, and we watch the show and have a good time. And for sure, it was like the title of, well, I guess maybe not the title of the episode. We'll have to see. A welcome return to Westeros. I definitely enjoyed this introduction to this story. The seeing familiar places, not necessarily faces, because this takes place 200 years before Game of Thrones, or 300, no, sorry, like 180 years, whatever, before Game of Thrones. I did like how they do have, with the Targaryens, like, it's the same look. They nail everything as far as costume and set design and everything. Like, it's just like being back into the world of Westeros, and it was exciting. I don't know how they capture that grandiose feel every time, but they do a good job with it for sure. Yeah, so we watched that on Sunday. Trying to figure out where I wanted to go with this before we get into spoilers. If we're gonna discuss spoilers, I'm sure we're gonna discuss something. But the dragons, it starts off right away. We got dragons. We don't have to wait 3-4 years for them to grow up, and 4 years, more like 7 years for them to fully grow up and stuff. We have them right off the bat. Now, I would say they look fairly good. My only complaint, to a degree, would be it looks a little animated, a little cartoony in the faces of the dragons sometimes. But at least, like, the shots of them flying and stuff looked believable, looked passable. So I was definitely all about that. We only seen 2 dragons so far. I don't know how many are supposed to be around at this time, if there's more than the 2. I know they have a dragon egg. They showed that in the trailers, but yeah, they've definitely started weaving a interesting show. Now, I have a little bit of background in what's happening, know a little bit of this story. Again, this is like not a brand new story. They're adapting Fire and Blood, which was another book of George R.R. Martin's. So this story has a beginning and an end. So we'll see. They've already changed a couple things. Nothing, hopefully, that's going to be too drastic. One of them's just the location of where a character is from, and then another one's kind of a prophecy that doesn't exist, or it didn't exist in the books, but we'll see how they handle it. Not really sure where they're gonna go with it to a degree because it shouldn't hold that much weight, but again, they're adding some things, which I'm fine with. It's not a total destruction of everything that's happening, or everything that should happen, I should say. But go back over here. Now we are joined again. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Climbing. We're climbing. We're climbing.
This is gonna start.
Climbing like you never before.
Yep,
We're wolfing.
Stop. Please.
Why?
For the love of God.
Zoe.
Every single
Zoe.
episode.
Zoe. Come on, Zoe. You gotta go. You have to go. Boo. Boo. Oh, you can just barely see. Sticking up there. Alright. Let me go. Let me go. I'm not gonna stop. I never stop. So, yeah, back into House of the Dragon House. What did you think of the episode?
So I definitely there's a couple of things that I want to talk about in regards to House of the Dragon. So I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was very good television. I thought that it was a great way to rope people back in to the I guess franchise of Game of Thrones. I see your bone. Good girl. So yeah, I think it was an interesting way to rope fans back in. I think they successfully did so as well. Just judging from the bad taste in the mouth that season
8?
7 and 8
yeah.
to me left. I love the world that they built. I thought it was shot really well. The coloring of everything feels Game of Thrones. There's a couple like things that I've seen from people that I watched the reviews of the show and stuff that they pointed out that they didn't really like that I did like the variations of the music of the theme from Game of Thrones and stuff. Like I thought that it was done well.
Yeah.
Other people that I've seen the reviews of and everything, they've kind of told me like, it's not really good. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I thought it was pretty sick.
I didn't know what they were watching because, yeah.
I mean, it's just different opinion. It's fine. It's totally cool. And at the end of the day, it's a fucking song. Like, okay. Like, I'm not everybody's going to like it. Okay.
That's true.
That's fine. I will say the dragons don't look as good as like season 7 and 8 dragon speaking.
Right.
But I find myself I'm not really concerned about it. I mean, I think like there was one scene in the beginning of the episode where a dragon is like I don't know, like gonna go back into its equivalent of like a dog crate
when Rhaenyra landed with Cyrax and
and somebody like touches its face or whatever, and that looked a little weird to me because I was like,
the faces look like a little weird animation to it.
Yeah, but they don't look bad to me.
No.
So, obviously you gotta point out a little bit that it's clearly CGI. It doesn't look as good as the other dragons did, but I'm thinking that that's purposely done because they'll probably look a lot better when they're doing the dance of the dragons,
right.
Which is like them fighting. So, again, I don't know. I think
maybe they didn't want to blow the budget on episode 1 on the dragons.
Right, exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like as a viewer, even though they do look better than just like decent or whatever, it's like they, you kind of have to understand that like episode 1's first season, they got to kind of in my opinion, the show has to kind of prove itself to be like, hey, we're not season 8 of Game of Thrones. This is something different.
Yeah.
I think Matt Smith, I'm still rooting for him, to be honest. I don't know the story. I never read Fire and Blood and all that kind of shit. So I don't know a lot about his character or whatever, but I'm pulling for him. I hope that he fucking wins. It got some typical Game of Thrones, I guess you would say tropes in this episode where it's like, you know, show us some titties, show us some sex, show us some debauchery. Yeah. I do like how in this this episode, it starts off pretty much really high octane with like a tournament in honor of, this king who his wife is pregnant, and they're like kind of like doing the tournament to like show the celebration for the new kid. So I like that. I thought the tournament was really fun to watch. It was I love how it's just jousting. Yeah. And obviously like it turns into something else later. But I do like how it was just straight up just jousting, bro. Like and it was fun to watch.
Right.
There were so many instances where, like, in the tournament sequence, somebody would, like, you know, get destroyed with a joust, and I kept being like, oh, shit!
Yeah, like those hits, like they look hard,
crazy
man.
Yeah.
Like, they shatter those shields. Boom!
Yeah. So, you know, I think film-wise and stuff, it's definitely held up to a pretty good standard of, you know, this is Game of Thrones. It's this grand scale of shite.
Grand scale shite.
Yeah, so it's this grand scale of stuff, and I think, like, you know, I think they did a good job of giving you the breadcrumbs to build up to whatever they're building up to.
That's what so like with knowing some of the story that happens, you definitely see webs being weaved, and threads being, you know, and there's some things where I don't know if you might have caught on to it, but like, I don't know, like that's where like I see it, I'm like, I see what you're doing there. There's just some
like
action.
What?
So when Otto told his daughter to go comfort the king and wear his mother's dress and all that, it's a scooting of a pawn.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
For
like
events that happen.
Yeah,
later.
That's the hand trying to get power. Yeah.
So, but that it's little things like, I see what you're doing there, Otto.
Yeah.
And Otto Hightower is essentially this story's Tywin Lannister, scheming power guy.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not as imposing as Tywin was.
Tywin is,
but he's definitely a thinker.
Tywin's a dominant force in Game of Thrones. Every time he was on screen, I was like, oh shit, something wild's about to happen.
This started out with him skinning that deer.
Yeah,
like that was his first introduction to it.
I was like, yikes.
Yo, Charles, dance.
Yeah, dude. So, I definitely can see some of the webs that they're weaving there. I know that the queen who never was or whatever, her husband seems to be pretty adamant about her becoming somebody on the throne or trying to get some sort of power.
So did you catch what that was about? The queen that never was?
Like she is the king's first heir that should have been the queen.
That in that back the flashback.
Yeah.
That way it was either between Viserys
or her. Yeah, and he chose the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, that was the second time. So that old king had two other sons.
Oh.
So he had he had an original son.
I have to fucking rewatch
That's
it.
I don't even know if they I think they mentioned it, but they don't really delve into it.
Yeah, they didn't like show a lot.
No,
it was just like a narration kind of being like, this is what happened. On. Yeah.
So he had an original son that was his heir, died. Then they were like, well, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Rhaenyra or Rhaenys or I'm trying to get all the names down now because it's like.
I forget what
Rhaenyra and Rhaenys.
I think Rhaenys name starts with a V, right?
What?
The dude who got it?
Viserys.
Yeah, it's between
it was
her and Viserys, right?
That's what it ends up. So again, like he had an original son, that son died. Then they were like, well, who's it gonna be? And then he's like, all right, it'll be my other son, not her. And then he died, and the second son that died was Viserys' father.
Right. Okay.
So it was like 2 successions down that he chose
okay.
because we can't have the woman on the throne.
Yeah.
Type thing.
So I like that. And I like how the series is like, well, why can't you? Like, you know what I mean? I like how everybody is kind of like shocked that, you know, it's like, whoa, the heir is this girl. Like, what the fuck? Like, so I like that, though. I think that's cool. I like how it's like uprooting old tradition and being like, fuck
But that's because nobody believes that Daemon or Matt Smith's character is suited to be on the throne.
And I would honestly, like, at this point, from what I've seen from him, I would agree. I would be like, yeah, he's got mad blood in him. You can tell. Like, I mean, the dude literally 3 seconds into being on screen, he's cutting people's ball sacks off. Like I just was like,
raper.
Yeah, and they like show it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, holy fuck, that's a sack, dude. Like that's it was. Not anymore.
No, not holding much,
dude. When they so like in the we're just gonna talk about the fucking episode. We're just gonna get in it. So. At one point after like the tournament, I guess, or is it before the tournament when he first gets there or something, he goes on a fucking rampage in King's Landing is like,
before the tournament.
We're going to clean this bitch up. And when he says we're going to clean this bitch up, he means filling up a goddamn wooden cart full of appendages that they just destroyed people with.
So he's the leader of the King's Guard.
Like the King's Watch or whatever the fuck.
And so he basically has a small arm, and that's where like
2,000 soldiers. It's 2,000 people.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. That's huge.
That's where some concern starts coming in. It's like you've given it. But that's partially Otto's doing. Is Viserys wanted him to be treasurer? He wanted him to be something else.
Yeah, and they said that he wasn't suited for that.
Well, that's what Otto said.
They'd say,
and they're like, "All right, fine. That's all I have left is."
What can we give him? Like
bad decision. Bad decision.
I thought. I did think that the and I obviously I get why, and it ties in with his character, but the sex scene with Matt Smith was hilarious. I was like, it's just like, yeah. Like that. That's what it's like for me. I kept hearing that in my head. Where it's just like, yeah. And it's you could just tell that Matt Smith is like his character, Daemon, is just he's having a fucking hard time like having sex. And I think a lot of it again, a lot of his character is like proving himself to people, and it's like for me, it's establishing this of like this.
I am a dominant force.
Yeah. Where it's like I'm not a yeah guy. I'm a yeah guy or whatever. Like where it like he gets beaten in the tournament, so he gets off his fucking horse and he sword and like he gives him a sword and he starts battling him and gets beaten then. And it's like
he only got beat though from gloating.
Huh?
He only got beat because he was gloating though.
Well, but I feel like his character feels like he has to. Like because of he didn't get treasure, he didn't get the hand, he didn't get what he wanted. He doesn't get anything that he wants. It's all everybody thinks that he's unfit. Yeah. And he knows that everyone he's there during the council meetings where they put the little marble on the plate or whatever. I didn't really understand that either. I was like, what the fuck is that?
It hasn't really been explained yet. But so far,
what are we playing? Fucking marbles?
Like, I'm logging in. Make sure you check in. Exactly. That's just what I've seen it been explained as so far is it's like I'm clocking in, and apparently, like Daemon has missed a whole bunch of these meetings.
Yeah.
But maybe he hasn't missed a meeting and he's been there.
Yeah, and I think that is what he's been doing.
Right.
And you could tell he's a schemer, dude. Like he wants to know what's going on.
And listening to this table telling,
well, they're talking about him,
right? Exactly. Like
so
this
he's
unfit
like,
motherfucker.
why would I go to the meeting? They're just gonna shit talk me. I just want to hear what everybody.
Or they
saying.
won't. They won't shit talk me at the table if I'm there.
Because I'm there.
Right.
Right.
And it'll be whispers behind the kid.
Right. So I feel like they do a good job of even all jokes aside, even in that sex scene, it establishes this guy that has a hard time performing because of all of this pressure around him, where he feels like he's inadequate for everything.
And they also had a little touch on, like, I could bring in a silver-haired girl if you'd like to, which is hinting towards his
future marriage with Rhaenyra or whatever, I think, right? Don't they? I mean, they're hinting at that he's into her.
Not marriage. I mean, it's her uncle, but like, yeah.
Well, I thought what?
I don't think they're getting married.
Oh, they're not?
I don't think they're getting married.
All right.
I don't know.
I don't know. All I'm saying is they
could.
They definitely are hinting at that he's like into her.
Oh, definitely. Sure. Yeah.
So, and I even thought the scene, like, again, and I have to keep bringing up the sex scene, but like after the initial like yes, they they do a good job of like where he's sitting by himself. He looks, I mean, to me he looked weak, and she comes over, is kind of like nuzzling him, and it just kind of like like being like, no, dude, like you are awesome, like you are part of the king is your brother, like take pride in that, like you're awesome, blah blah blah. And I just thought that was a cool scene because I was like, I just was like, yeah, man, like,
chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you so upset about? And then obviously when they flesh out a little bit more as to why he feels the way that he does.
Yeah.
And to me, it made sense. And it also makes sense for him to be kind of angry at his brother and be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're my brother. Like, we're like, you gave me nothing. Like, and you send me away.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you do. I got a fucking ugly ass wife back at my spot that I didn't want to be with.
Right.
And you
that was a
you
political
did that.
marriage.
Yeah. So it's like, and I mean, I think Matt Smith has like a line or something where he says like the sheep are more attractive than the women there or something like that. I was just like, damn, son. Like, oh my God. So it'll be interesting to see who his wife is and like what she actually looks like and stuff. Because I mean, if she looks like beautiful as shit, I'd be like, oh, you're just an asshole. Like, okay. But yeah, so I just think that the show does a good job. Whole point being, the show did a good job for me as a viewer to get back into the lore, to be in that world again. Mm-hmm. It was written well. I liked the gore that was in there. I liked I thought the sex that was in there was done elegantly.
Elegant sex.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but it wasn't like. I mean, dude, there were some scenes in like Game of Thrones. I forget what season it was. It may have been like 5 or 6. In like the brothels with Littlefinger, where I was like, this is fucking excessive, dude. Like, I'm all about showing like, dicks and tits and in shows or whatever. But like, I mean, you had like 32 girls like, like shit like that. And I'm just like, bro, I don't need to, I mean, like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? And so I thought that it wasn't like that in this. I mean, at least in this episode, it wasn't.
Yeah, right. One episode down.
Yeah. So I'm not.
No, I looked at you.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Sheesh. Yeah. So I don't know. In regards to the episode in general, I think it was solid. My final verdict for me is definitely a solid 8. I think this is. For sure, solid 8. It was intriguing. Very close to a 9 for me. I find myself. I mean, dude, and I mean, this is when you know you have a good ass show. The episode is an hour and 10, something like that. I wanted more.
Oh yeah,
I wanted more.
Definitely.
I was like, oh, dude, what? I kept checking the time. I would put my mouse over the time bar. I'm like, oh my god, we only got 15 minutes left. Fuck.
Right.
Like, so, I don't think that that's like a negative. I didn't like deduct points for that or something like or whatever. But I was like, oh man, I just want fucking more, man. I want the next episode, which is
tonight.
Tonight. So very excited about that. Hoping to play Apex until that. To be honest.
Okay.
But might even stream. I don't know.
Stream
maybe.
Apex.
Yeah, maybe.
Can't
Stream that.
Can't be
no.
streaming that.
No. So I just think there's a couple things that now that I've had like a week to digest the episode, I'm honestly very tempted to watch it again today before episode 2 comes out. Might make that.
I've wanted to rewatch it too. Jesus. I wanted to rewatch it too.
Yeah.
But I found myself just watching more videos of like people talking about it. That way I just get more insight on it. Because they are able to fucking show scenes. I don't understand how, but like they do. And
yeah. That's something.
But it has been a little bit refreshing too. At least one. I didn't go back to all of the channels that I used to watch with the Game of Thrones stuff, but one in particular, Alt Shift X, shout out, does a great job of
shout
recapping
out Angry
stuff.
Joe for me. Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was cool like getting to listen and watch his videos again.
Yeah.
And being like, oh fuck yes, I remember this back in the day watching.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's cool nostalgia cookie.
One thing that I do want to point out, like I said, I've had a week to digest the episode. Is some negatives that I have on the episode.
Okay.
It wasn't, again, 8 out of 10 wasn't all positive for me.
I feel like I have to be a Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon apologist. Let me see what your arguments are and see how I can crush them.
I think that not arguments, but the things that I have that are bothersome to me are things that are, for the lack of probably a better term that I'm too stupid to think of, I think it's kind of inevitable thought process behind this stuff.
Okay.
So, one, there's a scene where the current king is talking to his daughter, Rhaenyra, in a tomb of one of the dragons that has died. Very cool looking skull.
That's Balerion. That was Aegon the Conqueror's dragon.
Okay.
That's the one that Qyburn in Game of Thrones shoots or Cersei rather, pulls the trigger and shoots the first ballista through the eye of the skull. That's the dragon skull that she does it to.
Wait,
when they were testing the ballistas, the
harpoon
things in the basement.
I thought you meant like a real. I was like, how is that dragon alive?
Yeah, no, no.
The prophecy. No, I'm sorry.
Right. When they were down in the dungeon shooting the ballistas, when he was like, I have a weapon that'll work.
Right.
That's the skull that she shoots through the eye.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. But, yeah, so he's having a conversation with Rhaenyra, and he brings up the fucking prophecy, and he brings up the fucking White Walkers.
So
I'm not going to lie, that pissed me off.
That is a change from the books.
Oh, I figured.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, I saw those lines as an apology, kind of, to people who were watching, saying, we're not that, but we have to establish that that's, I mean, this is only 100 years or 147.
Here's the thing, though, about that. That edition was made by George R.R. Martin.
Oh, yeah, again.
Specifically, that was said. And so the whole thing with Targaryens, or just the dragon-related people, Targaryens are kind of the only family left from Old Valyria.
Yeah.
They are the only ones left because of a dream that one of the Targaryens had. The daughter had a dream that
and
it was
she
going to be
said
destroyed.
everybody has to leave.
Right. So they have this thing of prophecy that has always, like, they could kind of see things. Some of them could.
I don't give a fuck.
And then in Game of Thrones, or actually it's before Game of Thrones, but Jon Snow's father, Rhaegar, he apparently came across some scrolls.
Yeah.
And that's what got him onto the whole Azor Ahai thing.
Sure.
So that's the prophecy. It was never hinted at in the original books that Aegon had a prophecy for A Song of Ice and Fire to a degree. So but it was a semi shoehorned.
I was like,
thing.
it's too fucking soon. Stop. Like, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know about the White Walker. I don't want to hear about them. I don't want to do any, because what?
I think that's going to be all you're going to get about that.
I hope so. Because I really don't, like, for me, it wasn't like, I didn't get mad about it, but as I've had more time to think about it, I'm like, that was a meaningless fucking, shut the fuck up about that. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
But to them, prophecies do matter. See, that's where I was on the opposite boat. When I saw it in the show, I was like, oh, I don't think that's right. I don't like that. And as I watched more people talk about it, that's where I've changed. More sense. I flipped exactly.
Yeah. So for me, I just go, you're reminding me about a show that literally made me eat turd sandwiches for 2 seasons.
At that point, yeah.
So and that bleeds into my next point, is that I have to watch this show and separate
through
it
the lens, or not through the lens of
Game of Thrones because of the ending of Game of Thrones.
Right.
Because in my opinion, I watch this show and I like this show, but as I've had more time to process things, I go, well, nothing matters. It doesn't.
Because of
nothing matters because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
no
that's the problem.
Matters,
that's the problem
nothing
with doing a prequel, though.
I know. And that's why I'm saying, like, the show is still good. I enjoy watching the show, but I do know the outcome of everything that they're talking about in this show.
Yeah.
Because of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I go, the White Walkers mean nothing. Bran is the most interesting person in the entire Game of Thrones series. He gets the best arc.
Yeah.
Arya is the prophecy. She's the one who defeats all of the White Walkers. Like, everything that you're talking about in this dungeon to Rhaenyra is wrong. Everything that you guys think,
but that's prophecy.
Well, correct. But to me, I guess what I'm trying to say is that entire scene reminded me of Game of Thrones season 8, and I went, oh yeah, that's right. Nothing matters. No prophecy matters. Nothing that was written mattered. None of this shit matters because we know what happens. It's Bran's not the Ice King, and he's the next king. Like, and
that prophecy fuels what happens.
Correct. But again, from a viewer standpoint of still like finding the little shit turds in my teeth or between my gums and going, oh yeah, season 8. Yeah, none of this matters. Like, because it doesn't.
See, all right, I can pose another. Not an argument, because it's just it depends on how you want to view the show, whether that's canon or not. But so I have a book, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But it's basically a history book of Westeros and all events that happen in that world. But then this is what I liked how George R.R. Martin did it. Is it wasn't like, all right, here's just a book and the histories, and I wrote it. It's written as this is a book that was written for Joffrey and Tommen by Archmaesters. So the information that you read in the book might not be correct because it's viewed through the lens of them and what they. So you could even say that the show is like that too. The events might not have happened the way that they were depicted to us.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and that's cool.
It's just a different way to look at it to make it a little sweeter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like sprinkling powdered sugar on a turd.
Yeah.
Like so for me, before I go into episode 2, I have to get into a mindset of this is a prequel. Like it's just another
everything
show.
You know, except for the locations, because most of those are still there.
Right? Yeah, and of course, I think too, like people who are Baratheon and Stark, they're not in the book, right? Are they in the book?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I for some reason I read that like
maybe
Stark.
maybe Rickard Stark or Rickon Stark.
Yeah,
maybe
whatever
not.
his name
Maybe
is.
would not have been down there, but Baratheons would have been there.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, because I think I remember reading where it was like they introduced a Stark and there is no Starks then, or if they
they're
are,
definitely
they're in the north or whatever.
They're definitely in the north.
Like they wouldn't be in King's Landing for that or whatever.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yes, that is true. They wouldn't have come down and be like, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So either way, though, I mean, and I don't know. I didn't care about that. Like I was like, okay, cool. Like there's a Stark there. Baratheon's awesome. Let's go. Like, but. At the same time, it's just that one scene where it's like the winter is coming and shit. I'm like, shut the fuck up about winter, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about winter, bro.
Well,
I swear to God, if they show a fucking White Walker,
I don't think they're gonna
kirk out.
I'm
gonna kirk out.
I don't think they're gonna show that
in a wheelchair. And he it's Bran, and he went back in time.
But. Right before that scene with the prophecy, I think he was telling Rhaenyra that he had a vision too.
He did, yeah.
With the I see the sun on the throne and all that.
Because he was like, "What do you see? It's important." Like
right.
And she's like, "I see us," and he's like, "Tell me more. I need to know more. I need to know what you see." I liked that. I just when I hear winter is coming, and I hear. You know,
a threat from the great north.
Yeah, and I hear that type of shit. I'm like, dude, stop now. I don't want to be reminded of that shit ass fucking season finale. I'm sorry, I don't.
I don't think that you're gonna see it again.
I hope not. I just again, when I hear things like that, and I hear like anytime I hear in Game of Thrones or not Game of Thrones, in House of the Dragon. If I hear winter is coming and shit like that, and it's not coming from a Stark, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Scissors, house words.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, if a Stark says that, I'm cool with it. Because they always think that fucking shit is coming.
Yeah.
Like, but when I hear it from a Targaryen in King's Landing, my head kind of gets a little whirled because I'm like, dude, nobody wants to hear about season 8, bro. Like and to me, again, that scene felt like it was the show kind of half-assly apologizing about season 8.
Yeah, it was somewhat of a retcon for George R.R. Martin. Like that's what I said. He put that in there.
Yeah, which I'm cool with it. I just mean like I just hope that the show doesn't do that frequently. I
don't think you will.
I hope not. When I think about this show,
Targaryens changed their words to winter's coming.
Yeah, dude, like that's their
and
house.
Then the Starks are like, that sounds pretty fucking cool, man. I think
I
think I'll make that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make
that's
that.
That's more like
house.
our location.
Yeah. So I just again I want to say this again. I like the show. I'm just saying that one scene really made me think and go, damn, none of this means anything. It's just pretty wild how, like, we already know what happened. We know the prophecy is bullshit. So I just, when I go into this show, I just try and think about it from a new perspective of, like, just, like, we're back in the world or before everything happens, blah, blah, blah. And I'm into it. Yeah, of course. I don't think that the show lacks in character development or anything yet. I think this episode 1 was a perfect way to introduce people. A lot of people are saying Matt Smith looks really weird. The only thing that's weird about him, in my opinion, is that his eyebrows are like blonde as shit, and you can like barely see him. So it looks like he just doesn't have eyebrows. So that was a little crazy. But in this episode, you get to see Rhaenyra's dragon. You get to see Damien's dragon as well, and I think it has like 2 heads or something like that. And it's fucking wild looking. It's very skinny, and it's got like. On its legs, like on its back legs, it's got like these leg wings too that are very interesting looking and cool. So I don't really know. I mean, as an episode 1 goes of introducing people and stuff like that, I think that it did a very good job of establishing characters and the first couple of breadcrumbs for each kind of faction of the Targaryen family to start ramping it up to, I guess we would say, like a civil war between the two, between all 3 factions. Isn't it green and black?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What?
Well, do you know who wears green?
No, I know.
Right. You've already seen them.
What?
Right. So that's what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Damien's?
No.
No. What?
Yeah.
I don't understand. What? Just fucking say it.
So, Otto Hightower's daughter, Alicent, green dress, comforting the king. Pawn movement.
Okay, so they're green, and then everyone else is with Daemon.
Blackfire.
Blackfire. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So it's Blackfire Rebellion.
Where's Rhaenyra fall into that?
I think she's with Daemon.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But
How does that work?
Because
that's why. Oh my god.
They technically don't have the power. See, because Alicent gets in with the king. Yeah, right. Right. But yeah, no, Alicent gets with the king, and
okay. So she has like a pivotal ass role.
Ooh,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Does he like fall in love with her and shit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
So that's where yeah, and there's a time jump that's going
dope.
to happen because it's necessary for the story.
I'm cool with it, man. Fuck it. I think that's
yeah,
dope.
It's gonna be really cool.
So do you think we're actually gonna see the colors green and black?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like on the flags and stuff.
Yeah, I would
or
imagine
do you think
so.
They'll change the colors. I think it'll be like red and gold or something like that.
No, I think it'll stay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Greens versus the blacks.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
What was I gonna say? So one thing that I really liked how they depicted, just because it's a saying from the books and it happens in the books a lot. So you'd notice the king had the scab thing on his back, right? And they're like trying to heal it.
Yeah, it's like a festering wound.
It's from the throne.
Yeah,
this is all the swords and shit, and he cuts himself again at the end.
Yeah.
So the saying goes, the king cuts himself on the throne, that he's not fit to sit the throne.
Oh.
And because this wound won't heal and shit like that, it's just a metaphor thing that he's not meant to sit on the throne. And the way he sits on the throne is he sits back and to his left. And that's where the cut is, and he sits on his left side. He usually, like I said, sits back. The one scene where Daemon was sitting on the throne, he sits up and to the right, not getting cut. Like so, it's like a thing where
symbolism type thing.
Who doesn't get cut by the throne? Yeah, and so like there's other kings, like the Mad King. What his nickname was apparently the Scab King because of how many times he was cut.
Oh my god.
And then I think Maegor the Cruel, which was Viserys's grandfather, literally died on the throne. Like the throne killed him because he wasn't fit to. So it's like little symbolism things like that too. Where it's like I think it's just really cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that they're doing that, and I think they're depicting it well.
Yeah.
That's
I definitely will agree with you on that. Like, the fact that, they don't really understand why it's not healing and stuff like that. And they're like, cauterization might be it. And he's like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I like that. I really enjoy Matt Smith in this, to be honest. I'm a big Matt Smith fan. It's hard not to especially when he's doing the yeahs, it's hard not to see him as his character in Morbius, because there's a scene where, I don't know if you've seen the movie or not.
No.
It's pretty pretty fucking
Morbid time?
comical. There's a scene where Matt Smith is like being a
Is
vampire.
he the villain
or
in
whatever.
that movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's like a vampire, and there's a song getting played that's like, "I just have sex, sex," or whatever. And so like a lot of people are memeing the yes to that. So it's hard for me to think about Matt Smith as like a Targaryen when I just got like, I'm having sex, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just being played in my head. But I do really like him in this, and I think he's a great actor. I think when he's given
Quality material.
yeah.
Right.
But I think all in all the show is very well done. I think it's got a shit ton of potential. I'm excited to have some type of fantasy medieval-ish type of thing going on Sundays again.
Oh yeah,
feels good.
I'm hoping that we're gonna see one of the villains of this show, or at least the early part of this show, this episode. 'Cause they talked about him a little bit, and it's hard if you don't know who the character is. It'll go over your head.
That Cole guy?
No,
Oh,
no, not Kristen Cole.
it's like every bitch is like in love with him.
Oh yeah. That was one of the other changes that they did from the books. They said he was from Dorne, but he's not. He's from the Stormlands. But I don't know how it's going to really affect the story at all, even if it does.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. But what I do want to see was one of the council before the tournament. God, what is this guy with the white dreads?
Oh yeah.
He brought up this character called Crab Feeder.
Yeah, because he like lets the crabs eat the body or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he's causing problems in the Stepstones. So if you picture Westeros, if you know where the Stepstones are,
Yeah.
it's like right off of Dorne.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of the land bridge that connects Essos.
Yeah.
He's basically a pirate, and he's taken over areas there, and it might affect trade because that's what this dude does. Is handles like a lot of the trade routes in there, and
Dude, let's get him in there. Crab boy.
it's kind of funny. Somebody brought up, it's funny that two well done prequels, at least one of them I think is well done, and this one is just starting, is going to be initiated over trade routes, like Star Wars. It was the whole trade routes thing,
Right? Yeah.
but it worked, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it's going to work
yeah.
in this too. Like
I think introducing trade and stuff like that. Like I mean, all of the politics of Game of Thrones are super interesting to me.
Exactly.
So introducing all of that kind of stuff and the implications that it may have.
There's
and-
implications.
Yeah.
There's always implications.
I
need my rope.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that. I would love to see something like that in this episode.
I think you will, because dude brought it up at the meeting, and it was immediately brushed aside to talk about the tourney for the unborn child.
Right.
No,
yeah.
this is more important, and
Yeah.
so that's what maybe it'll start off with that, or close to the beginning, maybe. Like, hey, there's actually this threat going on, and we're gonna have to address it.
What are your thoughts on how the throne room looks now?
I like it. It's closer to what the books are, and it makes sense.
I'm indifferent.
Why?
When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, this looks good." And then a couple more shots later on in the episode, I was like, "This kind of looks dumb." I don't know. I just it's like they added more swords around it, and they just I don't know. They just look really bad to me.
Yeah, they
now.
couldn't do it exactly how the books are, because it's
aren't they, like,
supposed to be a fucking mountain.
Yeah,
of them and stuff.
yeah.
This was more.
It looks like somebody just laid down some rubber swords on the floor. To me,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm nitpicking.
right.
Like, I mean, it didn't break the episode for me, but I just was like, at least it looks better. Than
I mean,
Game
it would
of
have.
Thrones.
It makes sense too with Game of Thrones. Well, Yeah, so
because
with
Robert
Game of Thrones,
Baratheon would have cleaned it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and that's why I was like, I mean, I'm cool with this. Like, it looks different because it's a different king.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I understand that. And even Robert Baratheon talks about how much he hates sitting on the throne because it's so uncomfortable and shit like that. So that makes complete sense to me. I just think the look of the sword, I'm like, I don't know. It's like every one of them is just like flaccid. I'm like, I can we get like some?
No, it's not safe on set to have sharp objects.
Oh my god, dude! Like, why? Is this so
They're just CGI'd in.
God. Well, at least they didn't do that. They did look practical.
Yeah.
So, I was interested to hear your thoughts on that to see if like if it looks good, if it looks bad.
It looked fine to me. I didn't really like.
It's just something that I like. Especially, I don't know, from some of the shots where it's like the throne, and then you see like the steps walking up and everything. Like on the right hand side, there's like a lot of like droopy ass swords like on the steps, and the left side. I mean, the
sword would kind of melt maybe too. Like it's not that the rubber's not able to stand up.
I don't know, man. I was like, it's like you pick one up and it's like, like, yikes. But I mean, again, what are you gonna do? So the one scene I will say that we didn't touch on, that's worth touching on, is the bed chamber scene.
Oh yeah,
with his wife that's having the baby.
Thought it was really well done. The juxtaposition of
it. I didn't want to see it.
Birthing room is our battlefield, and then they cut that with the tournament, and it's like, yep.
Well, very good editing choice on that.
That's that director, Miguel Sapochnik. I was telling you, he's a fucking beast.
I was going to say, very good editing choice on that, where it was like, you would see the queen in agony and labor, and then it would switch to somebody else getting busted up with a lance and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, that's what's pretty much happening to her uterus right now.
Yeah.
And the king has to make a decision, of, she's not capable of pushing this baby out, is what I got from it.
Too old.
They have to make a really hard choice between, do you want to save your wife and kill the baby because one of them is going to die in this decision, or do you want to kill your wife and we have potential to save the baby? Horrifying choice. And I think it's acted very well by the guy who plays the Viserys or whatever his name is. And I mean, you could just tell he's in like mental anguish, being like, what the fuck are you trying to tell me? Just say what you're like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's like, just say it, like, and stuff like that. And the maester guy is like, or the medic guy or whatever he is.
It's a maester.
Yeah. He's like, sometimes we have to make a really hard choice, and it's an inevitable choice. Somebody's going to die in this situation. You got to choose. And he chooses to save the baby because he really wants an heir.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of established before the tournament and stuff. His wife and him have a pretty good conversation when she's in the bath, where she's like, is this the last one? Like, I haven't been able to provide you an heir, and I'm super sorry for that. Like, I have to, like,
they've had a lot of complications. They've tried
they've had
times,
two
miscarriages
babies
and stillborns.
Yeah. Or was it one miscarriage and two stillborns?
I don't. It's been.
It was something like that, where she just hasn't been able to do it, and
it's both due to her age and their cousins.
Yeah,
it's a genetic thing.
Yeah,
too. And that's Targaryens for you.
So, and to me, that conversation kind of well established this thing of being like, it seems like Viserys is very much like, dude, I know that you're trying, like, it was very nicely done between the two, where she is very distraught about not being able to fulfill her role as queen and stuff like that. And you can tell that Viserys is like, I mean, it's not like you haven't tried. I mean, we've been trying everything. Like, I mean, you had 3 babies, that that died. Like, right. So that being said, with that conversation had, this scene where he chooses to save the child is even more gut-wrenching, man. No pun intended, but where it's like, he is like holding her hand. She's kind of passed out from the pain. And when she comes to, you know, he kind of slowly breaks the news to her. And as he's talking to her, the servants come up and kind of like pin her down.
That's what, like, I don't think that, well, she never got a choice. That was the whole
she
thing.
did. Yeah.
But like, it started.
She doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
She doesn't know until the pillow that she gets ripped out, and she's like, "What the fuck is happening here?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I cannot even begin to imagine the sheer terror that's going on in that woman's mind while this is happening.
Yeah.
And this is something to me that was very real in this like kind of time period that we're based in, where it's like, yeah, man, like this is happening. You're trying to save your kid and your wife is dying.
Yep.
Like she is going to die. And the scene alone, and I mean, yes, it is pretty morbid, but it's not like crazy morbid.
Graphic, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there's blood.
Yeah,
a lot of blood.
And I think you see them take her stomach out or something like
Kind
along
of.
the lines of that. Yeah, you see them moving like organs around or whatever. And
Squishy
I
parts.
didn't want to. I was like, please don't show this. Please don't show this. And then they did. And you know, the baby is out, and it's like, you know, or whatever. And
I don't think it cried.
it didn't.
Now I'm thinking about it. I don't think, and I didn't catch it.
I didn't.
When
I thought
the
it
mason
did.
was just holding it, I don't think it cried. I think it was DOA.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I don't think it survived very long. I don't remember a cry.
Well, I know it didn't survive very long.
I don't
because
remember a
they
cry.
even say like it was alive for very shortly after.
After a
the fact.
day.
Yeah, I thought it did like.
I don't know.
Or
Maybe it
something like
did.
that.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to remember back, and I don't remember.
To be honest, during that
Because I feel like I
scene-
was waiting for that, like, and I never got it.
Well, yeah, it wasn't like screaming or anything like that.
You
but
mean
I-
how
I-
a child's fucking born?
I thought it made a couple of noises.
I don't know.
Either way, though, I
And
know
we didn't see it either,
what.
the baby, at all. Like,
No,
the actual
yeah, you
baby.
didn't, yeah.
So, makes me wonder, because we know Daenerys had a deformed, like, dragon-scaled baby.
Oh right.
Targaryens are known to have complications like that. And she said in the bath that she thinks that she might actually birth, you know, maybe this time I'll actually birth a dragon.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. We don't know.
What the fuck? How does that even work?
Well, because they somehow have genetic blood of the dragon in them.
So fucking weird.
It's, yeah.
Whatever, dude. Yeah. So yeah, this baby gets born,
Don't know.
and then it shortly passes away after, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they got a good ceremony service. We get the typical Targaryen Jacaris or whatever the fuck.
Dracarys.
Yeah, and you could tell that Rhaenyra really doesn't want to do it.
And she blames her father for it.
Yeah, because he won't step up and do it.
Well, that, and she believes that his decision is what killed her mother. Because she doesn't. She knew that she was too old to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so she, you know, gives her dragon the okay to set ablaze to everything, and it does. We get a instance of Matt Smith beforehand talking to her, and
I like that scene.
I do too.
I really
it
did.
really did establish like some empathy for the character, where it was like, okay, you're not just a dude who's going around cutting off ball sacks like and doing yes and like yeah. So I like, to me it was really good lines delivered by him saying like, well, we're like, your father's waiting for you. You
Yeah.
have to step up now.
Right,
Like,
this is your time. You've got to do this.
You have to. And I think the lines because it already, you know, again, they have some conversations throughout the episode, Matt Smith and Rhaenyra, and it's established that they have a pretty good relationship and stuff like that. And I think the lines coming from her uncle like that and stuff is very comforting, and being like, look, like, you're the woman of the house now. Like, I mean, you know, you have to do this. It's kind of like what, oh my God, Ned did with Rob.
Yeah.
And being like, look, like, you're the guy. Like, you are the guy now, and I have to go to King's Landing, motherfucker.
Right.
Like, you know, so it was like things like that where it very very man, I don't know the right word.
Well, they did
for
the
it,
same. They actually, I think it's closer to Rob saying that to Bran when they were going to war, and I know you don't want to do this, but you are that. You are the head. Like, people are following you.
I would agree with that. Yeah, you're definitely right. But yeah, so very interesting sequence. Set a fire to the mommy dearest that's wrapped in cloths. It
was weird too. Like, those cloths to me looked like fire retardant cloth. Like, what we would like that silver
did kind of look like that.
What is this?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in general, I think that the episode was very well done. I'm excited for tonight and to watch more of it. And I think it's a solid 8 out of 10. Or did I give it a 7?
No, you said 8.
Okay.
You said it was bordering a 9, but
yeah. All right. So a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely, if you have HBO Max, for sure,
watch it.
Definitely a must watch. We'll see what happens after this week. If they can continue the ball rolling. I really hope so.
I have high hopes for it. I from what I see in episode 1, coming out strong. Everybody's acting's good. Like, the atmosphere is good. It is King's Landing, like, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! They showed the courtroom, not courtroom. What fuck is it called? Courtyard, kind of like a courtyard scene.
Oh yeah, with the trees.
No. It's inside. It's like an open kind of courtyard, people walking through, and that's the place where Cersei paints the map on.
Yes.
Later on.
Yes.
The scene by the weirwood tree, though.
Yeah, where she's reading the book.
That's added. There is no weirwood tree in King's Landing at that time.
Weird.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why that's there. Because that would have already been cut down, burned out when Faith of the Seven started.
Huh.
So it's a little confusing.
Yeah,
but
a little bit of continuity error.
But it was clear as day. Like, Rhaenyra and Alicent sitting underneath the tree. You get their first little spat.
I didn't really think it was a spat. I thought it was like
it was a little bit
thing. Like,
it is.
Just blame the guy or whatever.
But this is where it's going to progress.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if somehow having that little argument or whatever in front of the tree, because the Bran's kind of not Bran's not watching it, but Bloodraven's watching at that time. I think Bloodraven's watching.
That the old dude?
Yeah.
That's like sitting in the tree or whatever?
Yeah.
Underground or whatever?
No, I don't think he's there yet. I have to do some maths about that.
Do Fae people exist at this time? Like the Fae people?
The Children of the Forest?
Yeah, the people who make the Night King.
Yeah. They're there. They're up there.
Up where?
In the north.
Oh, okay.
North.
All right.
As far as I know, they're up there.
I'd be cool with seeing one of them, like, in there. Just don't fucking show me a White Walker, bro. I will literally flip my shit if I see that and be like, this is the dumbest show ever, bye. Yeah, no, bro. Like, no. Please, God, no.
You see him, like, putting the chains down in the lake, so waiting for...
Jeez,
one of the dragons
to freeze, yeah.
Well, later on, because they were like, well, where the fuck did they get these chains from to hoist the dragon out of the... They're like, putting the chains down there. We're gonna need this later. About 200 years.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't think that you're gonna see White Walkers again.
I really hope not.
I really don't. I don't see
not.
any reason for them to go north.
I didn't see any reason for them to bring it up.
I kind of do.
Sure, whatever.
I mean, to keep threads going, they showed the dagger. I thought that was cool.
Turd threads.
I thought the dagger was cool.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
Cat's
I thought that was
dagger,
cool. Yeah.
which is supposed to be the original, like, Aegon the Conqueror's dragon now, or dagger.
Yeah, I was like, dragon, wait, what?
yeah.
I thought that bitch was dead.
Yeah. No, not the, the dagger. So that was cool. I don't want to see too much more of the dagger. Like, don't keep like
dagger, Valerian steel.
It's gonna be
right.
And we also don't know how Peter Baelish got it in the first book now, or in the first show, movie, whatever, to send to go kill Bran. Like, now you're starting to back yourselves into some corners.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, nothing matters in this fucking show because we already know the outcome and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
yes and no.
Right. You have to go into the show being like, whatever, it's a fucking prequel. Who cares? Like, hopefully it's just done better than season 8. Chains. The chains.
Would you want to see the wall again?
No. I don't want to, dude, listen.
The wall exists.
I don't fucking care. I don't want to be reminded of anything about Game of Thrones season 8. I don't want to know. I don't care.
There was no wall in season 8.
Regardless, the wall. If I see the wall,
there was a portion of the wall that wasn't there in season 8.
Yeah. They broke through the wall, but I mean, I don't want to see anything that hints towards the events of Game of Thrones. No, I don't care.
What if? Because again, it's kind of just like a location type thing, but like. So where Otto's from is where the Citadel, where the High Tower Sam went to go study.
Sure.
They go there.
I'm cool with that.
And they show it, and it looks like Game of Thrones. Like that.
I mean, like, yeah, that's fine. I'm mainly talking about
just the White Walker story.
Yes. Like, I don't want to be reminded of that because it was the most lackluster build-up bullshit ass fucking solution.
The short night.
And yeah.
It's not the long night.
Yeah, literally, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't want to get reminded of any of that. I don't care. If you go to the Citadel and you're looking at scrolls with maesters and shit like that, that's fine. That's in the fucking lore. I get it. That's a place. That's fine.
They go to the Citadel and they go, there's a book on White Walkers.
God,
and somebody goes, gotta get rid of this.
Yeah, or whatever. Sure. And Sam shows up. No, you don't. But I'm like, the wall, I don't see any point in going to. Like, there is literally no point. Like, unless you know, wildlings come into play or something in this fucking series.
They shouldn't.
They better not. Like, I don't get that. Like, if they did that, I would be mad because I'd be like, stop. Like, we don't need it.
Yeah.
There is no point to this.
Just
like,
being a derivative of Game of Thrones.
I mean, it's just, to me, I just go, what does this do for the story? It doesn't do anything.
Member berries.
Right. I don't want any of those. I want fresh berries, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, give me more of what we got. Like, I'm cool with the crab man. I want to see him. Like, that sounds interesting as fuck. It sounds like, you know, some dudes getting flayed and then crabby boys are coming up and eating them and stuff like that. That's horrifying sounding to me. I'm into it. Like,
we're gonna see it.
That's, I mean, like, going on, showing crows on the wall and stuff like that. I just don't see a point in doing that. I don't at all. Like, I don't want it.
Oh man, yeah, if they do close-ups on a crow or something like that, it's like,
fuck that.
For comedy purposes? Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, the crow's like eye in the middle of its head like winks at you. Like, hey buddy. Like, yeah. So I mean right. Yeah. I just, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't want it.
Right.
At all. I don't think that it would be clever or on the nose or anything.
I don't want them to use Game of Thrones as a crutch.
Right, yeah, I want this to be its own fucking thing. And to be quite frank, I want this to be
Tyler, not Frank.
To be frank, my alter ego.
To be Pug.
I just good lord. Yeah, I just don't want I want this to be good on its own.
Yeah.
Is what I want. So, I think from the show right now, doing fine. We'll see what happens in the next couple of episodes. But I don't think that this show is lacking really in anything right now. I think the storytelling's doing fine. I think they laid down every breadcrumb that we needed. And I think that all the characters that we've gotten introduced to are interesting. I'm excited to see more of them on screen and have more time. So, with that being said, I think it was a good episode. I 8 out of 10, solid watch. Go watch it if you have HBO Max.
Definitely. And because it was such a good show, for episode 1, it's already got renewed for a second season.
Which is crazy. And I was telling you about this yesterday that on premiere day at 9 p.m. and I'm surprised that it didn't crash the fucking HBO servers, because I remember back in the day when Game of Thrones, when HBO Max was a thing, like when it first started.
It was HBO Go at that point.
Yes, it was HBO Go, and I remember because of Game of Thrones, it was literally breaking the fucking servers.
Yep.
For them, where it was like you couldn't load the episode, or I remember there would be an episode, you could stream it at 9, and I would get like 20 minutes in, and it would just cut off and be like, nope, you can't access it. So then they changed it to where it would air at 9 p.m. on TV, and then it would come on HBO
10.
Go at 10.
Yep.
So I always was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna wait till 10. Like, fuck it.
I would do it at 9, and then I'd watch it at 10.
Oh, really?
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
First time was just enjoyment watch. Second time was for learning things.
Yeah.
Picking things out.
Yeah, but I think it's wild that it had 10 million viewers concurrent.
They probably had their entire IT department at 8:59 with fire extinguishers. Like, all right, everybody,
get
ready to spray down these fucking servers, man.
Yeah. And to me, it just proves the fact that people are still interested in the lore of the show.
We'll see.
Or the books.
We'll see what this week brings in.
Yeah.
Because the original hype for episode 1, yes, everybody might flood in.
I'm thinking it brings in more. I think more people are gonna watch it now.
Yeah, because the ones that didn't be like, dude, it was
good.
Like,
it was not season 8 of Game of Thrones, bro. Like,
no.
it's good. So I think I'd like to see the numbers generated on it for the episode 1 for the week. I can't even imagine how many streams that they got. Like,
if it's
Mike's looking it up. Yeah, already renewed for season 2. I mean, what do you expect, dude? Like, this is HBO's bread and butter, dude. Like, this is HBO's Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's how did I describe that shit a couple days ago? Oh, it is a subscription selling show is what it is. Is you apply for the trial month of HBO Max, and get the season in, and then you extend that after you're done. So,
Game of Thrones prequel series House of the Dragon has been renewed for a second season, like we just said. HBO said Friday. The announcement comes after more than 20 million people have now watched the first episode.
Okay, so it's doubled, which is crazy. I mean, that's...
So they just narrowly missed Stranger Things Season 4 premiere.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, 20 million is a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot of people. And it's probably only going to grow.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to be a good litmus test is going to be Tuesday. Rings of Power.
Oh, Jesus. I don't think anybody's going to watch that shit.
Or are they going to watch it because it said it's going to be so bad?
When does Ring of Power come out?
Tuesday.
Yeah, but like, what is the date?
2nd of September.
That's not Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday?
September 1st is Thursday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's a Friday release.
Today's the 28th.
Yeah, there's 31 days in August.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was about to be
I
like...
thought it was the 20th. Okay. Yeah, I had.
Yeah. Thursday is September 1st, then Friday is...
Okay, Friday.
is September 2nd.
I got you.
So I would assume that it's a Friday release. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Thursday She-Hulk, follow that up with fucking Friday Rings of Power. trying to kill me.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, hey man, you know what's funny? And not to get off topic of, House of the Dragon, but last night something just possessed me to fucking watch The Hobbit.
Zuzu?
No, it was not. But yeah, and I watched the first Hobbit, and I just was like, God damn, it's such a good fucking movie, man. I love this movie. Like, I love the first Hobbit, dude. I love the second Hobbit too.
They weren't really awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Bugging.
Because some of the CGI was just bunky.
For what?
The fucking dwarves and shit looked. There's a lot of action scenes I did not like.
Oh, you might be thinking more of the second one then. They had a lot of action sequences in the second one where the dwarves are like jumping around on the water and all that shit.
Yeah, the barrels.
Yeah, that's the second
bullshit.
one. That's the second one.
Either way.
Because that's when they're escaping the Elf King.
Sure.
Yeah. The second one's my favorite one. You know why?
Smoke.
Nope. Those are the spiders in the beginning. That is I don't know like the lore for the spiders that they do in The Hobbit is so wild. Yeah, and that they like, cause like Shelob in Lord of the Rings was a cool, interesting character, but the just cause The Hobbit's a prequel, so it's like the spiders in the prequel, like The Hobbit, they're just way more fleshed out than Shelob is, and they like talk, and their voices are creepy as shit, and they just I don't know. I just
spiders.
I hate spiders, but I love the lore of just the spiders in the Hobbit. But yeah, I think my favorite one is probably the second one, and then the third one is just not that good. A lot of CGI Legolas doing Legolas things.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But yeah, so I just watched that last night and was like, man, just love this movie. It always comes down to a point where I have like 40 minutes left of the movie and I'm like, man, wish there was more. Like, I just wish that, I don't know. Like, that's the one thing in those Hobbit movies is that I felt like the Desolation of Smaug should have been longer. They should have had the first quarter of the third movie in Desolation of Smaug. They should have killed Smaug in the second movie. Yeah, and they didn't. So it takes them an hour to fucking. Yeah, dude. I was gonna say it takes them like an hour to get that going in the third movie too. It's like, jeez, bro, like what?
We were just there.
Yeah, like, and we're dragging this shit out.
Unintended.
Yeah, for real.
Bragging.
But yeah, I love the Hobbit movies. I like the Lord of the Rings movies more, but I do love the Hobbit movies.
And you'll love Rings of Power.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna try and go into that with an open mind. I really am. I don't. We'll see.
It's just hard when you've read things from the people who make it going, yeah, we don't like you. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know.
And it's so why would I be interested in your product? I mean, I'm going to have to watch it and unfortunately give you a number for watching it. But
I mean, dude, it is what it is. Like, look, I mean, and granted, we're not huge or anything. It's not like we got mass amounts of people in our comments being like, how could you not like this show and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's our fucking opinion.
It's true.
Like,
but you're not allowed to have those now.
Whatever. I say fuck you to that shit. Like, especially when it comes to like shows and movies and stuff like that. I'm gonna speak my goddamn mind when it comes to shit that I don't like and shit that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but nobody can tell me that Miss Marvel is a well-produced show. I'm sorry, but you cannot.
I can tell you that. I'll be lying.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying is like you can't sit there and say that you really enjoyed Miss Marvel and that you thought it was a really well produced show and it's a 9 out of 10 and all this other shit.
The director thinks that.
Well, right, but in my opinion, I go, no, it's not. It was not, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but that's just the way. No, that's the way it works, brother.
Misogynist Islamophobe?
Fuck that. I got an opinion. I'm gonna fucking voice it. I thought Miss Marvel was cool. I liked the actress. I liked the character. The show is butt kiss, bro.
Like the mom. Mom was cool.
Yeah, the mom was dope.
Bruno was cool.
And the dad's cool too.
Dad was cool too.
Ah, I'm Hulk. Like, come on, bro. I love him.
He should be in the fucking She-Hulk.
Has him at Comic-Con. He's like, ah! Carmella is like,
you just see him in the
whatever,
courtroom, like in the audience.
yeah, I'm a Hulk fan. Let's go, She-Hulk. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like in regards to like shows and stuff like that, like if we don't like Rings of Power, that just is what it is. Like you don't have to fucking listen to our review.
Well, and like I said too before, it might even be the case where it's like, okay, it's a decent show on its own, but in this world, it's not. You should have just wrote your own show, but you couldn't because you wouldn't have the built-in fan base.
Yeah.
And justify
like
spending
Galadriel being interested in Elrond is dumb.
Huh?
Galadriel and Elrond being an item is dumb. Is stupid.
What about Galadriel and Sauron?
That is also stupid.
Oh, okay.
Because of 3 little movies I like to call The Hobbit. Like, in The Hobbit.
The Hobbit's not canon.
What?
To the Rings of Power.
Oh, well, yeah, right. But I'm just saying, like, in regards to the Tolkien-based movies, Galadriel, if anyone, is interested in Gandalf. And it's clear that she is.
Oh, he might be in the show, too.
I'm sure he will be.
People brought up that he's not supposed to be.
No, Gandalf's pretty old.
Oh, yeah, but
so is
he's very
Sauron.
old, but he supposedly got to Middle-earth
Or Saruman.
in the beginning of the Third Age. According to the written literature.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Whatever, man.
But it's not whatever, man.
It is because we know that the show's not going to go with any of the source material. Like we just know that it's not going to happen. Like
I know.
And I mean, Gandalf even has some smooth ass lines in the first Hobbit to Galadriel that is like, I was like, you fucking dog, let's go. Where like the first time he sees her, he says, age has not been kind to me, but it fails in comparison to the beauty of the Lady of the Light or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, baby. And you can tell she's like, I'm moist right now from that line. Like, and she's into it. And you know, she's having conversations with him. You will have a queen. Oh, man, that scene used to scare the fucking shit out of me, dude. But yeah, like in The Hobbit, like they have great lines back and forth where, you know, she's like, the dwarves are leaving, and he's like, in his mind, he's like, yes, and she's like, and that's what he says. He's like, yes, and she's like, you knew, and he's like, yes, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
You can, I don't know. For me, I feel like anytime that Gandalf talks to Galadriel, there's like sexual tension there, where it's like they want to jump each other's bones, like Lego, like I mean,
Legolas.
So like, if they get Gandalf to be a love interest for Galadriel in the Rings of Power, I'm cool with that. That's fine. That makes sense. Or like, maybe she likes Elrond in the beginning, and then by the end, she's liking Gandalf or something. I don't fucking know. But I just know that it might look cool. It might be cool. It might be a good show. I don't fucking know. I got to see it after the first episode. I got a feeling like it probably won't be.
It'll look good.
You know, whatever, dude. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. I don't fucking
had
know.
him in there.
Either way,
I'm just waiting for the cringe fest.
I know, and I mean, it probably will be a bad time. Like, it'll probably suck. But regardless, I mean, whatever, dude. Like, it just is what it is. We've been reporting on Rings of Power for months, dude. Months.
Big anticipation.
I mean, you could call it what you want.
I'm waiting to see what kind of dumpster fire it is.
Call it whatever you want, but I I'm just saying in general, it might has a chance to be good. It has a chance.
How many countries could have eaten off of the budget of this?
Now that's true.
I mean,
that's factual. You know, for the budget that it does use, I mean, I sure as hell hope that it is good. I really do. I would be lying to anybody and doing Lord of the Rings a disservice if I said I wouldn't want the show to do good. I do. I want it to succeed. I want it to get renewed for a second season. I want it to flourish. I want it to do great. I want Lord of the Rings to be relevant again. I think if Peter Jackson did a Silmarillion movie, I would be so into it. I would make it a trilogy, please. That would be awesome.
Should just rerun the original trilogy extended cuts in the theater.
I'm cool with that.
Do that.
I know that HBO Max has the extended cuts of all the Lord of the Rings on there, and now that I've watched The Hobbit, I plan on watching them.
Yeah, I've watched them once or twice.
They're amazing.
I love the extended cuts because there's just so much extra shit in there.
There is so much more in them. And it's
ridiculous.
Not dumb shit either. No. It's good stuff in there. Yeah.
And that must have been hard to cut that kind of shit out.
The mouth of Sauron. I was gonna say his scene is extended a lot in the Return of the King extended edition. Like he has an entire monologue that they cut.
Yep.
In the theatrical version. So there's just things like that. There's great scenes with Gollum.
More Faramir.
Yeah. There's more Faramir. More everything.
Boromir.
Yeah. There's more
More smoking old Toby.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God, that reminds me of in The Hobbit, the first one.
Yeah.
When Gandalf is talking to Radagast, the Brown. And he's talking to Gandalf about how there's spiders, and there's something in I forget what they call it before they call it Mirkwood, because they call it Mirkwood because of the festering evil that's in there now. I forget what the original name is for it, but either way, he's talking to Gandalf about
Clearwood.
Yeah,
this is gonna turn to Mirkwood,
translucent wood. But yes, he's talking to Gandalf about shit that's going on there. He said there's something evil, blah blah blah. And he's like freaking out, and he's just like, I don't know, and like Gandalf goes, he like wipes his pipe, and he goes, try some old Toby, it'll calm your nerves. And Radagast does this huge fucking like
big puff.
Yeah, like I mean it's massive, and he does this thing with his eyes where they go like cross-eyed while he's like inhaling. And then he holds it for a minute, and Gandalf's like, okay, let it out or whatever. And then you see him go, and it comes out of him and everything. And it looks like he's like high as shit after that. And I just was like, that's
smoking
awesome.
old Toby.
And even in the council meeting with Elrond, Saruman, and Galadriel, Gandalf's talking to Saruman about, the Mirkwood, and he's like, are we free? We're not free. There's evil in Mirkwood. They call it Mirkwood now because blah, 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 blah. And Saruman's like, don't talk to me about Radagast the Brown. And Gandalf is like, I know he can be a little eccentric sometimes, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, it's not his eccentricness that bothers me. It's his consumption of mushrooms. He goes, he goes, they've rattled his brain and made his something. He says like they've made his rattled his brain and made his, I don't know, magic like
soft.
Weird. Yeah, something like that. Where you could clearly just tell that like Radagast just gets high in his fucking house all the time.
Yeah, he's just tripping out, man.
Yeah. And then you look at him and you're like, oh yeah, well he definitely looks like that. He's got bird shit on the entire left side of his face. So what the fuck is happening? But I love it, man. And dude. Oh my God. I just love these movies, man. They're so cool. Like, and the fact that he has like a sleigh with a bunch of rabbits on it and they're pulling him around and going crazy and he's outrunning wargs and stuff. It's so cool. Like, I love it. I love the wargs in The Hobbit too. I think they look really good. Even though they're completely CGI, but I don't give a fuck. They're awesome.
That's the same ones as Two Towers?
Yeah. In when they're leaving
Rohan.
Yeah, Rohan, and they get chased down by them. Yeah,
I like that scene.
They look a little bit different in that scene from what they do in The Hobbit. They're a little bit more like checkered or spotted.
More like hyena.
Yeah, a little bit more hyena, and the wargs in The Hobbit look a little bit more like doggish, like wolf kind of. But I fuck with it. I think they look really cool. And also, when you get into the lore of all of it and everything, different time period, they evolve a little bit more. And, and I think it's their environment where they are in the Two Towers. They're a little bit
field.
more. Yeah, they're like open plain, kind of like a hyena. So and in The Hobbit, they're very much more. I guess you would say like a stray dog kind of thing. But again, I fucking love it.
So cool.
I love it. And they got the eagles in The Hobbit as well. They got the eagles, baby. Ooh, the eagles are so cool. So cool.
Fly, you.
Oh, man. Yeah, apparently we're getting a Balrog in Rings of Power as well, so that'll be cool.
I'm scared about that.
I'm not.
Well, it looked the best part of the last trailer that we watched, in my opinion.
It looks good.
But I'm scared if they're going to be introduced to Gandalf, and then maybe we'll...
No.
Yo.
I don't think so.
I don't put it past them.
I think...
Who the fuck else would fight the Balrog? Galadriel.
No, probably Sauron would fight a Balrog and then tame it and use it.
Sauron's fighting. He's giving gift.
I think he's
gift giver.
Well, I think Sauron is going to be influencing things for sure.
Remember, there's supposedly no rings in this.
Bro, listen, I'm just gonna watch the show, okay? I'm just gonna watch it. It doesn't matter. I don't fucking care. If it's bad, it's bad, and I'll watch it until it's over, and it'll be bad. If it's good, then I can't wait.
But like, dude, it's kind of the same to a degree, because like, you know, all the similarity, you know, the backstory of all this stuff, you know, from I guess the games, because I'm not even super familiar with the whole like the creation of the rings and all of this. I know there's.
What do you mean?
I can't remember the damn fucking person's name. Celebrimborn?
The forger of the rings? What are you talking
about? The character, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it, but they have an instrumental role in the creation of the rings.
Yeah.
But in the show, they don't.
Yeah.
It's so for you knowing this and watching the show, going, all right, I know this story. I'm waiting for this character to come up, and then they don't, or it's somebody completely different that has done. It's the same as if we're watching watching House of the Dragon now, right? And knowing like fucking Daemon, man, he's gonna be a big force to deal with, and you're watching the show and like, hey, we're Daemon. There's no Daemon. He's pivotal to the fucking story, and it's like we're writing a different story though.
Well,
but you know Rhaenyra and you know Viserys.
The only argument I have for that is the fact that they never, and when I say they, I guess I just mean like Peter Jackson never showed that at all.
No, but there's still lore.
There's source material indicating that a character like helped to make the rings, but even in the Lord of the Rings films, when it starts and you have Galadriel explaining,
they don't go over.
They don't say, you know, Joe Schmo made these 9 rings from, you know, and blah 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 blah.
3 rings.
But I'm just saying, like, in regards to that, I think that's a detail that still hasn't even been fleshed out in any of the films at all. So,
but that was the games, though, right?
Yeah. And a lot of, well, I don't want to say a lot, but most of the games aren't really canon. Like take for instance, Shadow of Mordor, great game.
Yeah.
Not canon at all.
Okay.
Like, I mean, really cool story. Not anywhere in the book that ever happens.
Gotcha.
Like a ranger can't be a wraith too. Like
No.
it just does. It's not.
It doesn't work that way.
No, like it just doesn't.
That was
happen.
the 9 Kings of Men. That
Well,
the
it's
raids.
I don't know if you've ever played the game, but
No.
okay. So
Not that
basically, the premise is like you're from Gondor. You're basically Isildur's ancestor or something along the lines of that.
Okay.
Your family gets killed by Sauron essentially, and you basically get tied to an elven wraith that used to be like a big head honcho smith of some of the rings. So you're working with him, and it's like an alter ego of him. So like he can only see the wraith, and like, yeah, it's very convoluted and dumb, but it's a great game.
Yeah.
There are things like that in Lord of the Rings games where it's like, this doesn't exist. Like, this is just its own thing.
Gotcha.
So, Rings of Power show, kind of like that. Now, if Peter Jackson legitimately made a Silmarillion movie, that's where that character would come in, get fleshed out, and there would be, actual lore of what is happening in that fucking movie. And it would stem directly into The Hobbit after that.
Rendering this show moot.
You mean Rings of Power? Yeah. I mean,
if that were the case, if Peter Jackson did,
sure,
he would be able to secure the rights.
Yeah,
if
like
Bezos can't, Peter Jackson can.
If the Silmarillion was made into a trilogy and stuff like that, and stretched like The Hobbit was, yeah, probably it would probably make the show Rings of Power a moot show. However, I mean, again, I don't know if he made a Silmarillion movie. I feel like Peter Jackson would try and incorporate the Rings of Power show into the lore of that and have it try and make sense. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do know for the instance that you're talking about, there would have to be a Silmarillion show. Or not show, sorry, movie. Like a trilogy of the Silmarillion. Yeah, because it would literally establish every single thing in Middle-earth before both trilogies.
Do we know why they couldn't secure the rights to that?
Or
they just didn't want to? It's not like they don't have the fucking money.
Well, no, I think at this current time, I don't think Peter Jackson's interested in making anything else.
No, I'm not talking about Peter Jackson. I'm talking about Amazon.
Oh,
why?
I just don't think that they didn't. I just think that they were like, no.
Why not secure the rights that way? You have
probably money that they didn't want to spend. They wanted to spend it all on the show.
That is the show.
Well,
rights to use a good story.
I mean, yes, you're right.
We'll use characters from the show and write our own story.
I don't know. I can't answer that, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't know if we knew why they didn't do it.
I would assume if it was like because they're pompous people at Amazon
held out or whatever.
No, I would assume that it's probably along the lines of like, look, we have this budget, we want to make it, we want to blow the budget on everything visual on the show. We want to make it look the best that any show has ever looked.
Have an AI write the script.
Right. I mean, like,
they just feed in characters' names, like, go. Shit! The AI didn't come up with rings on this one. Son of a bitch!
You forgot the / a beta, you idiot.
I tried. It's not fucking working.
Yeah, keep getting a 403 error. But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the dealio was with that. I think that from Amazon Studios' perspective, probably just didn't want to waste the money on trying to secure the rights because of the story that they wanted to tell. I would assume that the son of Tolkien or whoever has the rights to everything, they probably knew that he would look at the script and be like, this is not anything in relation to what my father read. wrote. Or so
they fired the guy that they had hired to make sure
right,
that they
yeah,
did.
yeah, and so I just think, and who
blows
knows,
my mind.
it very well might be Peter Jackson already bought the rights to the Silmarillion and he's just waiting to make it.
But at the same time, you got dudes saying, "I'll fucking help you with this shit."
Well, yeah,
and
I
they
mean,
don't answer him. They ghost his ass.
But I think that's just Amazon being Amazon and being like, no, we have what we want and we don't need help. and from their perspective, they're nailing it. And from
they're She-Hulking it on him.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's cool that Peter Jackson wanted to help them.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
I think that's cool.
But they couldn't even courteously being like, "No, we've got this."
Well, because it's not a Tolkien story.
They could have responded to the guy, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I agree with you on that for sure. Like, I mean, they definitely could have responded.
Like,
But
literally, without Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, they'd have no show.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think that we're giving Amazon Studios too much of a personality to be respectful of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's how it works. I think that they wrote their thing. They're happy with it. It doesn't necessarily go with anything that...
It's clearly, they're definitely happy with their decisions.
Right,
With
yeah.
them firing their lore
from
guy.
their perspective, I don't think that they think that they needed Peter Jackson at all.
I think they might be rescinding that decision.
Well, I don't know. We haven't seen the show yet.
No,
so,
but we know that season 2 has been put on hold.
Yeah, for reception.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Where they weren't even saying that for House of the Dragon, but after the first episode, they're like, all right, season 2, it's happening.
Well, yeah. I
mean, I love that, but...
At the end of the day, though, I mean, I look at that kind of stuff and I'm like, that's standard, dude. Like, no show comes out and even before reception gets renewed for a season 2 anymore. Nobody does.
And if the Rings of Power it was put on hold. So apparently they were talks of development.
Yeah, but even so, talks of development for season 2 is not a renewal for season 2. Like, for me, I look at that kind of stuff and I go, dude, there's plenty of shows like Mindhunter, for instance, where 3 seasons of that show got canceled. And apparently it's because Fincher, it just puts too much of a toll on Fincher, which I am like, grow the fuck up, dude. Like, I mean, come on. Like, let's get it. Let's do more Mindhunter. It's awesome. It's such a good show. But at the same time, it's like, it can happen to any show. Like, I mean, House of Dragon could get renewed for season 2, and then by the end of season 1, we could all hate it, and it gets canceled. I mean, that's
true.
A very true thing.
Yeah.
So, in relation to Rings of Power, and I'm biased. Let me preface what I'm about to say with that. I'm biased.
Yeah.
Because it's Lord of the Rings, that I'm like, I want to see the goddamn show first before I make any more judgments on the show itself.
The
trailer from what? Yeah.
Well, after watching the episode.
Right, and it's like, for me, I've seen the trailer for Rings of Power. It looks good to me.
I know.
It looks good. I don't know if the show is good yet. When I watch episode 1, if I hate it, I fucking hate it. And I think that, we'll find out real soon if the mass amounts of viewers feel the same way that we do or not. I would say probably not, because there's not a lot of Tolkien fanboys out there being like, I don't think that they make up the mass majority of the audience is my what I'm trying to say here. So in relation to the show, I'm trying to give it a chance. I'm trying not to be as skeptical. It is hard because I love Lord of the Rings and I love Peter Jackson's interpretations of the books. But again, I don't know anything about this story. It's a brand new story. It might be awesome. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
I'm really not sure. I can tell you when the first Hobbit came out, I ended up seeing it twice in theaters, but the first time I saw it, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I really wasn't. I was like, I don't know. This doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings to me. It felt like, felt like The Hobbit. Because The Hobbit is not written like Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Lord of the Rings is dark, gloomy,
About the children's book.
Yeah, and The Hobbit is very, uppity and happy and comical and stuff like that. Like, I mean, the first scenes in the Hobbit movie where Bilbo says good morning to Gandalf. Gandalf has 3 jokes that he tells Bilbo right after that, saying like, well, when you say it's a good morning, do you mean it's good to be on this morning? Or do you mean the morning is good? And it's just like lines like that where I'm like, this doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But now when I rewatch it, I'm like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really not sure. I'm indifferent about Rings of Power. And I think when we watch the first episode, hopefully it's episodic in the sense of not releasing the entire season in one
I'm pretty sure.
fell swoop. I hope not. So I'm hope it's just one episode. I'd like them to be like an hour long, to be honest, even if it is bad.
Have to be.
I hope so. That would be cool.
I mean, to compete with House of the Dragon, it has to be. I can't see that show. And then also justifying the budget for a half hour for 45 minutes. No,
that might just be visuals, man. I mean, the visuals that I saw in the trailer, I was like, damn, this does look really good. And it might be the sets. I mean, I
think a lot of it's going to be the sets.
I was like, holy fucking shit, this looks crazy.
Like, I mean, they had the fucking full like ocean scene with Galadriel or whatever. They built on the soundstage and it filled gallons and all the. So.
Yeah,
I commend them from going through the effort, but that's only because they have the budget to do so.
Right.
So, like, how much crazy shit? What's the new technology we got out there? Throw it in there. Throw it in there. How much that? Don't matter. We're Bezos money here.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, the big question for me is, at least for this show, is does more budget make it a better show? Does your budget does the look of your show matching the budget, does that allow you to get away with half-assed storytelling? And that's a question I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I
would lean on the side of no. Like, I don't want scenery and visuals to overshadow the story and the character development.
I mean, yeah, I don't want that either, but I do think that it's a valid question to be asked here, where it's like, are you going to be so absorbed in the look and the atmosphere of the show that you are going to overlook certain things when you first watch it? I think it has high potential to do that. In my personal opinion, I think that's what the show looks like to me. Is I'm like, yeah, the story might be terrible, but it's a damn good looking show. Like, it's fun to watch. Like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see things like, like Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, looked really good. Yeah. Like, shitty ass story. Right. I mean, in my opinion, the budget didn't overweigh the storytelling. Well,
it just had other parts too that were just god awful.
Well, right, but
you're talking like this.
Right, and I hope that none of that is in there. Is in Rings of Power.
For talking like this. I do the magic.
Orc, and he's like, I would need the ring. Shit.
The ring is the power. The ultimate
power.
Lord
Sauron,
You're smoking a pipe here. Smoking a pipe here.
That's basically the mouth of Sauron.
Yeah, that's how he talks.
Gandalf the Grey. That dude talks
Gandalf the Grey. What are you doing here at the gate? I tell you to get out of here.
I tell you to get out of here. Skedaddle.
You upset my master here. The big eyeball, like a meatball.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Oh, boy. I invite you in for some spaghetti, but the eye is going to be looking at us the whole time.
You don't want to be a meatball no more. You want to be a person. You get it. Come on.
And those little people, they walking up the hill with the ring, and they gonna fuck it all up.
They're gonna fuck it all up.
We
I
got
get to my
to find
son
them.
and Hercules.
You see all these orcs around me. They're gonna be really disappointed if the eye falls down, and
You get rid of me like they're all out of work.
Do you happen to have a medic? My lips split open again. I'm bleeding profusely.
A napkin.
A napkin. Oh my god!
Fucking Aragorn just like whips out a handkerchief. Oh, much better. Much
or
better.
like,
and then he talks normal.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Yeah. That's like, they're just another sequence that just reminds me of The Hobbit, where Bilbo runs out to meet the dwarves and Gandalf because they're traveling already. They started the adventure, and he expressed that he didn't want to go. So he runs back up to him, and he's like, wait, I, want to go, or whatever. I signed the paper, or whatever.
I got my permission slip signed.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. It's a waiver, like, or whatever, that he has to sign himself or whatever. And he's on his horse, and he's like, wait, everybody stop, like that. And everybody's like, what's going on? Why are we stopping? He's like, I forgot my handkerchief. We got to turn around.
We got to go back.
And one of the dwarves just takes like his shirt, like part of his shirt, his coat or whatever, and he just goes, just use this, and he rips off half of his shirt and throws it at him, and Bilbo is like, okay, like that. So funny, dude. That would have been great. Gimli's just like, hang on. Just like throws it at his face.
They're just like yelling to everybody. It's like, anybody got a napkin? We need a napkin now. Oh, no, nobody has a napkin. Just use my beard.
Yeah.
Just use my beard.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Yeah, so,
That would be good.
Gimli's dad's in The Hobbit.
Oh, I thought you said Gimli's dead. Gimli's dead? I was like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
No, Gimli's dad is in The
Gimli's not
Hobbit.
dead. Yeah, Gimli's dad is in The Hobbit, though. Gloin?
Yeah, right.
He has some interesting words that he says to Elrond. And it's actually really funny because...
Lugenbakum? That's an interesting word.
No, it's like Elrond speaks Elvish to them, and it's basically like welcoming that they don't have text for what he says, because obviously it wouldn't be funny if they showed you what he said.
Right.
But he basically says, you guys can stay here tonight. We're gonna prepare you guys a meal. And Gloin is like, does he offer us insult? And starts going up and gears up with his axe and shit. And Gandalf is like, no, he's offering you food. And he goes, and Gloin goes, oh, well, in that case, lead on. But it's so funny because in the Fellowship, Gimli has a similar, not identical, but Gimli has a similar mannerisms towards Elrond, being what the fuck?
It's just a distrust of elves.
Yeah, because of what happened in The Hobbit.
Speak offended.
Yeah, but it's just so funny because it's like Elrond says this elegant ass sentence to them and everything, and Gloin is just like, does he offer us insult? Yeah. And even when they ride in, when Elrond rides in with his I don't even know what the technical term is, but his squad, his cavalry or whatever.
Squad.
Yeah, they
his
ride
battalion.
in, and Thorin and all of them are like, at arms, boys! And they all gear up for that they're gonna fight and shit. They're just running around them with the horses, and they're like, hey guys, what's up? They're ready for battle and shit. So funny, man. I love the movies.
Yeah.
I just love everything about them. I think they're so well done. So
hopefully it stays
except for the
that
third
way.
one. I mean, the third one is well done. It's just
overly CGI'd.
Yeah, I think that's probably my biggest problem with it, is that it's just when you get to the Battle of the Five Kingdoms and stuff, it's very, very CGI-rific. And you're just what am I watching?
Yeah.
And there's some definite points where Legolas is just like a rubber man. where he's like running down these like little pillar things on ice and shit, and you can just tell that he just is not there.
No.
Looks like a little doll, like doing flips and shit and whatever. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I love the movies, man. The movies are so good. Best part of Lord of the Rings, by far. Favorite line. The cave troll in Moria.
Oh, yeah.
They have a cave troll.
Cave troll. God, I love that.
I love that scene as well.
Oh, it was so good.
The goblins look so wild in that scene, too.
The screeches and all that.
Yeah, and their big-ass fucking eyes. And then you see the goblins in the Hobbit, and you're like, what the fuck happened to y'all? Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. I forgot about this line, too. I just have to bring it up. Just another great fucking line in the Hobbit where they're about to get out of the Goblin Kingdom in underground, and the Goblin King slams down on one of the bridges, and basically because beforehand he gets knocked off of something, you just think he's dead, and he's like, what do you think you're gonna do, Gandalf the Grey? And starts like swinging around his staff and shit, and Gandalf fucking like pokes him in the fucking eyeball with his staff, and he's like, oh, like that, and then he slices his belly like right here, and he falls to his knees, and he literally looks at the camera, and he's like, well, that'll do it, and then he dies. I don't know why, but last night I was dying at that line. I was like,
well, that does it.
Yeah, he goes, well, that'll do it, like that, and then he just dies. So fucking funny, dude. Love that. And I love the little goblin that's on the it's like on this like rope. He's like, it's like a really small little goblin. I don't even know if he has legs, but he's in this like contraption, this wooden contraption on this string, and he comes riding down the string like in this little cart or whatever, and he's like like that, and he's got a notepad, and the Goblin King is like, tell oh man, I forget what his name is, to be honest. It's the white orc, but the Defiler or whatever. He's like, tell the Defiler that I've found his prize, or whatever. And the goblin's like, okay, yes, like that. And he like writes it down, and then he fucking just like
zips away,
turns the card around, and he's like, and just like, and the camera follows him while he's going down, because Bilbo is down in the other part. Yeah. God, I love that movie. Yeah, he's just like a little dude that's just like, you know, it's clearly his only task is to like relay messages or something. So,
yeah.
So cool though. The Goblin King, at first, when I first saw him, I was like, this is dumb, because I hated the CGI, but I've grown to like it.
Fair.
Break their bones, smash them dead. Love that. Bring out the Bone Breaker. I just love Lord of the Rings.
What's Tato's precious? I love that. That's
that, and the scene in The Hobbit where Bilbo first encounters Gollum is a really, really good scene, where you could tell that basically anything that they didn't do with Andy Serkis in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, they pretty much just kind of like let him go ham in that one, where, you know, it's I don't know if you're familiar or not, but Bilbo fights a goblin, and they both fall off this like wooden plank structure thing, and both the goblin and Bilbo fall into this hole where basically Gollum is, and he's chilling, and the goblin gets dragged off by Gollum to get eaten by, and while he's doing that, he drops the ring, and Bilbo picks it up and puts it in his pocket.
Right.
So Bilbo's spying on Gollum while Gollum is trying to like beat this goblin over the head with a rock so he can like eat him. And Gollum notices that Bilbo's spying, and in order to get out of this situation, they play a game, and it's a game of riddles where you get 3 riddles each, and if you guess it right, then you get to move on to the next round. If you guess it wrong, then Gollum gets to eat you, or if Gollum guesses it wrong, then he has to show Bilbo the right way out. And it's just the banter back and forth and the riddles that they're coming up with, so fucking well written. Oh my god. And it's right out of the book, to be fair. Like it's
Okay.
not like Peter Jackson like wrote all of it, but the riddles that they do is just like, I'm like, dude, I would have gotten eaten.
Yeah.
Like for sure. There's one that like Gollum does where or no, Bilbo does it where he says it's something like white and red horses, rows of 12 or something like that. We stamp and we smash something. And I remember when the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what even are you talking about? I'm like, Rohan? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that. And Gollum gets his teeth. And he's like, yep, that's it. That's the right answer. And then Gollum has a cool ass line of saying like, oh, we only have 9. Like that. And he shows his fucking teeth. And Bilbo's like, oh, like that. So sick, dude. Yeah. God, I just, some of the scenes in that are just so cool.
Trying to make sense of it. Like, didn't Bilbo, or not Bilbo, Gollum had the ring?
Yeah.
Schmeagol.
Yeah.
How did this goblin get the ring?
Goblin doesn't have the ring. Goblin. So the 13 dwarves and Gandalf.
Yeah.
And Bilbo.
Yeah.
Get captured.
Yeah.
By goblins.
Yeah.
In the course of this happening, they're escorting the dwarves to the Goblin King, and because Bilbo is so small, he just kind of like, the book is a little bit better with this, but in the movie, he's kind of like on all fours, and the goblin, they just don't notice him because he's so small.
Okay.
So one goblin turns around and notices him and goes to get him, and he gets Sting out and then starts fighting the goblin.
Right.
They both get into a tussle and fall down this wooden plank thing, go into a hole,
Yeah.
and that's where Smeagol comes out, and Smeagol already has the ring, and in the course of dragging this goblin's body...
I thought you said that
out.
the goblin dropped the ring.
No, Smeagol does. Sorry if I said that.
You said he drops the ring. And
Yeah,
that's why
I
was
meant
like,
Gollum.
Okay,
Gollum does.
gotcha.
And
Gollum, not Goblin.
the last riddle is because Gollum says, all right, now you have to ask me a question, and Bilbo is trying to think of a riddle, and he goes, what do I have in my pocket? And Gollum's like, that's not fair. That's not a riddle. And he's like, well, you told me to ask you a question. That's a question. So, and then like Gollum guesses, like, honestly, Gollum guesses like 7 times or something. And Bilbo's like, nope.
A fish? No.
Yes, it says something like he's like chicken bones, and then he's like hands, like or handses, and Bilbo's like wrong, like that, and he's like no, like or whatever, and he does a bunch of other stupid guesses or whatever. He's like lint or something like that, and obviously it's the fucking ring. And Gollum eventually realizes that he's lost the ring, and then they do a cool shot of him looking into the pool of water that they're around, and Gollum then realizes like, oh, he's got my ring in his pocket. And so he's like, what does it have in its nasty little pockets? And Bilbo's like, that's none of your business. You didn't guess it right. And then
he still leads him out of the cave?
No.
Okay.
They basically, Gollum, because of that answer that Bilbo gives, Gollum kind of infers that he has the ring, so he starts chasing him down. Bilbo squeezes through this little crack of the cave, and Gollum is also doing that, and in the course of doing that, Bilbo falls when he squeezes through the cave, and when he falls, he has the ring in his hand, because he takes it out of his pocket just in case like Gollum like is like, show me your pockets, so that he can be like, nothing. It's nothing. But so he falls down, and they do a Fellowship of the Ring with Frodo, where he falls down, the ring goes up, and then it literally like falls down and teeters on like 2 of his fingers and bounces off and goes on his hand, completely disappears, and then Gollum can't find him.
He finds his way out.
Kind of yes and no. It's like a chase sequence where like Gollum is kind of just like aimlessly running around, and it looks like he's running after Bilbo, but he has no idea where he is. And then Bilbo sees Gandalf and all the other dwarves running in a hallway, and is like, "Oh, there's my company."
There they are.
And then so
they got out themselves.
Yeah. it's such a good movie, dude. I could talk about Lord of the Rings all day. So, but yeah,
What
we
is the
shall
One
see.
Ring?
We shall see. One ring to bind them.
One ring to not be in the show.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
Be interesting if they got Andy Serkis in the show.
I feel like we'd have already known that.
Well, I mean, like season 2 if it gets renewed.
Oh.
So interesting.
Why? Oh, to do a different character?
No,
Because Gollum wouldn't be there.
Gollum's like thousands of years old, dude.
The ring wasn't even made yet.
Yeah, I know, but when they make it, like if it falls out of their hands and then it goes back into the Shire.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You have the whole battle with Isildur cutting it off.
And then after that, Isildur gets it, and then it
I
goes
don't see
into a
that
river.
being season 2. They haven't even made the rings yet.
Well, I know.
It's like
I mean,
season
like,
13.
Yeah. I know. Maybe it's pre-Gollum.
They just need a Gollum show.
No. They already are trying to make a Gollum game, and it looks really bad.
Making a Gollum game now?
Yeah. It's. I think it might even be called Precious. Yeah. Yeah, dude, you didn't know that? It got like canceled like 2 times.
I see why.
It looks really.
Is it a VR game?
Oh.
What?
It's like third person over the shoulder type game. And you're just Gollum.
Catches fishes.
It's stuff like that, yeah.
Okay.
It looked about as exciting as Hogwarts Legacy.
That looked pretty good.
No, it did not.
Oh, yes, it does.
Fuck that.
That was not canceled, by the way.
It did get canceled, and then WB brought it back. Yeah.
I looked at there was nothing other than that one article that I saw that said it was canceled.
It definitely got
brought
canned
up.
for a minute because J.K. Rowling made that happen. And then WB was like, no,
we're doing this.
We're doing it. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure that they changed the lore of that game to not be based around an evil goblin guy.
I would hope so. That guy looked bunk.
I mean, the whole game looks bunky. Dumb. Looks stupid. Not into it.
I'd like to see a fleshed out Hogwarts and
Fuck that, dude.
You
I'm
know.
done. Nah. Just make a Quidditch game, goddammit. Nobody cares about Hogwarts.
Might be in there.
I don't think it will. To be
Might be
honest.
now.
Maybe. I mean, that would be cool. I'd probably buy it if it did, but
If they listened to us, then they did.
that'd be sweet. I would easily spend $60 on a Quidditch game.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%. But I don't think we're getting it.
It would be cool. I think they should do it.
I think they should too. I
Pod
think they should
racing
make a
game,
pod
too.
racer show, but we ain't getting that.
Show or another fucking game. I think
A game would be fun. Game would be
yeah,
fun.
you
VR.
can control
Make it a VR game.
Oh.
That would be cool, dude. That would be so cool. I'd be into it, dude.
And
That would be sick. And
that's
you could
all right.
you could do that with stuff like the Vive and everything with the controllers that you have. You do that type of shit.
Exactly. You just grab the triggers, like grab the handles,
Yup.
push them forward.
Yeah.
Got buttons and
Easy. Easy mode. Yeah. Just do it. Somebody make it.
shit. Yeah, dude.
I would easily buy it. I'd throw up probably. I'd probably get sick
Would
while
wanna
playing it. I
make
don't
it.
care. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to do that. Yeah.
Pod racing game.
Yeah. Pod racing game and pod racing show.
Ando and Mando. Lando.
With a special cameo from Mando. Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Oh, well, we can. Not that I have a lot to say on it.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't even care about this.
You don't?
I really
do.
don't.
I do.
I hate Umbrella Academy as well. So I'm
Not a big fan
excited.
of it. I haven't even watched it, but like
It's
from what I've
not
seen from
that
the
good.
trailers. So we
It's
got
okay.
we got this here. I'm scared.
I have no interest in watching this, to be honest.
Me either.
I don't
I
want
mean-
to watch it. I just don't care. I'm sorry, but I just don't care. Especially after seeing where they're going with the second game. I'm like, I don't.
The story, yeah.
Yep.
Now, if you did a show of the first game, I would just say it all depends on how the monsters, the machines, and the environment look. Because I think you could do it really. It's going to look terrible, but I think it could be done really well.
I mean, if it had a big ass budget and shit like Avatar,
right?
Like it would look good.
Exactly.
But I think you're just not gonna.
Well, and
get it.
The other thing too with this adapting games to shows and stuff, the game, it lets you experience it in different ways.
What, when you're playing?
Yeah, playing versus watching.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree with that.
So like fighting the machines and all of that, it's all
the game.
That's exactly
amazing.
Right.
Yeah. In the show,
it's probably not going to be amazing.
No. I don't fucking care about Aloy, whatever your name is. I don't give a fuck about you or the show or the game anymore. I don't care.
Just because of what they did in the second one.
Yeah, they made it not interesting. Hey, don't care. Cool. I mean, I'm over it, man. I really am. Like, and it's getting to a point for me where I'm almost over God of War.
Why?
Give me a fucking break.
Why?
I'm over it because they're gonna make that a show, and it's gonna be fucking shit.
Yeah, no,
it's gonna be a terrible fucking like.
I thought you meant you're over the game. Ragnarok hasn't even come out yet.
I think Ragnarok is gonna be cool.
Yeah,
I do, but I think that it with certain IPs. You ruin them by making them into shows.
I agree.
And I think that if God of War becomes a show, I think the games will suffer.
From that point. So, I don't
Look
know.
at Resident Evil 2.
Well, that's always had a problem.
Not the games, dude.
No, not the games. The movies have always had a problem.
and then the movies came out, and then the games sucked after that. They made them into action fucking games.
Oh, yeah, not horror games.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Resident Evil 7 comes out. Fucking great game. Really good game. Horrifying to play on VR, because that's the only way I played it, because I own it on VR.
Was it the giant lady?
Bug? The bug lady?
Bug lady.
Are we talking about the same game?
Maybe not.
No, you're thinking of 8.
Oh, that's
You're
8.
thinking of 8 with the lady who's like 10 feet tall.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I'm talking 7.
That was the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family, boy.
Right.
Yeah.
I played the demo for it. I didn't have.
You never. Oh,
no, I haven't played the game.
Okay. Here's what we got to do. In the month of October, on Sundays after we're done the podcast, we got to do.
I have a problem, but I can't. I don't.
What?
Well, October, I've got 2 weeks where I'm not here.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, either way,
so
in October, I'm going to try and set up playthroughs of Resident Evil 7 and FNAF in VR for like Halloween type shit.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to play through Resident Evil 7 again, full, and beat it, or like in VR.
Okay.
In VR, that game fucked me up. Like I remember playing for like, oh dude, it was not like it was like I'm flipping out of my chair type scary.
You're playing in a chair?
You have to
stand up.
Not really that good of an experience when you're standing up.
Really?
It depends. It depends on how sick you get.
Oh.
For me, and I know it sounds so fucking silly, but it does work. When I play games like Skyrim, like in VR, I have to walk in place when I'm standing. Yeah, because if you stand there and your guy is moving forward and shit, the way that helmet is on you and stuff, it fucks your equilibrium up. Like massively, like to where I'm, at least for me, my personal.
I didn't have a problem playing The Walking Dead.
you teleport in that game, don't you?
Hmm?
As in, like, when you want to move somewhere, you click it and then it transports you there, or is it just...
Oh, it's motion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. The Saints and Sinners game. It's
Yeah. That's not... Okay, yeah. Okay. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, okay. I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, you'd probably be fine. For me, I have to walk and play. Like, if I don't, I get fucked up.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game where you can stand stationary and shit like that.
Right.
But for Resident Evil, I played in a chair and was, doing like that type of shit.
Around.
Yeah. I mean, there were definitely some instances where I was standing and stuff. Like, there's a portion in the game where you're basically the dad character in that game is chasing you through the halls and you have to find a shotgun and he's just walking behind you the whole time. That sequence, I was so scared that I had to stand up and I kept looking behind me and I would literally like see him like behind me and I'd be like, oh shit. Like, but there are other games, Jesus Christ. There are other games where, where I've played them and I'm completely fine. And then there's some games where I play where I'm walking and I'm just like, I cannot do this. But yeah, all in all, there are sequences that I've played not on VR for Resident Evil 7, and they are not nearly as scary as it was in VR, thus being the bug lady. So that's the mom in the game. When you fight her, that is, I don't like bugs, to be honest. Like, I'm not a bug guy. Like,
but you love the spider scenes.
Well,
yeah, no.
I mean, like the spider scenes in The Hobbit and stuff, they're gigantic fucking spiders that are talking and I don't know, they're just interesting. Yeah. When I see a bug on the ground, I don't like it. I want to kill it.
Gone.
And yeah, like I just don't like bugs. Like I'm not like a guy, like there's people on social media that have videos of them like having a centipede crawl all over them and stuff. I'm not into that.
About the eating of the bug.
What?
Eating.
Not particularly fond of it, I guess.
Bill Gates wants it.
Well, Bill Gates also was with Epstein on Epstein Island, so I don't think I'm going to trust him. Yeah, whatever, dude. He was fucking little girls is what he was doing.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I am. Fuck him. And that there's a PBS interview with him on the news. I think I've showed you that, where he's like, well, he's dead. So
exactly.
Yeah,
so that's all I got to say about that.
Fuck you, Bill Gates.
That's all I have to say about that.
Eat your centipedes or whatever the fuck you're eating, you goddamn
be eating your bugs
Looney
too
Tune.
when meat's illegal.
What?
Huh?
Meat's illegal?
When it will be.
I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't need meat. I'm not as concerned about that.
But you'd rather eat the bugs.
I don't want to eat bugs.
But that's what's available.
No, it's not.
It will be.
Mashed potatoes still available?
No.
All right, I can survive off that.
Mashed potatoes.
What?
On.
How?
That's before the meat.
No. Oh.
What's taters? We don't know. They're gone
anymore. That is me. That's the future of humanity. Is what's taters, precious? Yeah. So. But yeah. What were you fucking talking about?
Bugs.
Oh yeah, the bug lady in Resident Evil 7. She basically turns into a massive fucking like cockroach MIB style type of bug. It's horrifying.
Oh yeah.
And here's the other thing is that I'm claustrophobic. I am. Like I don't like tight spots.
You fight her in a closet.
You fight her underneath the fucking floor.
A crawl space?
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And you know what else? You have to periodically check back to make sure she's not right up on your ass.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you get a little bug ass like leg and shit like on your eyeball, and you're like, oh Jesus! Like it's bad. And she grows wings too, and then she can start flying around and shit. It's fucked up.
Okay.
Horror dreams, nightmare fuel.
What dreams are made of.
I'm not gonna lie. After I beat her, didn't play it for a while. Yeah.
Well, that was enough.
Yeah. No. There's one more person you beat after that, and then two more. Sorry. And then, yeah, But those compared to her and the dad, the other two that you have to fight, I was like, this is a cakewalk. Like I was like, you know, the other brother with the hood or whatever, he's like pretty much Jigsaw, where he just like has you play a bunch of games and stuff like that. Yeah, and then there's a little sister, and she's like the main villain. Yeah, she's like if you ever played or whatever the fuck the trailer or the teaser was, where you're like in a chair or something like that, and there's like a girl that appears in front of you and shit. That's the little sister.
She's like the game that never came out?
You're talking about PT.
Yeah.
No. So for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, before the game came out, you could play a teaser of it, and it was basically just you in a chair, and you had to go through like certain like sequences and stuff. And at the end, this fucking girl would be in the corner of the room, and the lights would flicker, and then she'd get closer, and like all this. It was horrifying. But that's who the main like antagonist is, and she's like a specter type person.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. But Resident Evil 7 was better than 8. I thought 8 was terrible. But
it's a village, right? Is that what it was
that's
called?
Village, yeah. I thought Village was gonna be really cool, but just
wasn't.
Yeah, just I mean,
lackluster.
Yeah, the lore in it was cool. Everybody looked awesome. Like I liked how there was like werewolves and stuff and like that in there. That was cool. It was very gothic. But Resident Evil 7 Biohazard for me was peak Resident Evil again. Felt very good.
So when we get in that movie,
I don't know.
Netflix, come on.
Jeez, give it up, Netflix. Give it up on Resident Evil. Just give it up.
You only have to make one show from now on Netflix. And that's Stranger Things. Just don't make anything else.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Put all your money in that.
For me, I just go like give the Resident Evil franchise to somebody who makes good zombie content, like the people who made like 28 Days Later, stuff like that. Like let's make it just cool.
Not corny game
movie. I mean, you can include things
movie.
like Nemesis and Wesker and stuff like that, like characters that
like
make it comic
style-wise.
Yeah, like
the
let's
2000s
make it more
Resident Evils were all like video game.
Yeah, and like things like 28 Days Later were horrifying because it was based in like a reality.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Mila Jovovich?
I'm cool with her. I like some of those Resident Evil movies.
Probably not going to happen with her.
What do you mean?
Because the only reason that she was doing it is because she was married to the director.
Well, yeah, I know that. That's why they made the Monster Hunter movie.
Exactly.
And that was god awful.
We got the rights! How do these people get rights to shit? I don't understand.
Saving up. It probably has a good relationship with Capcom, too. Because Monster Hunter is a Capcom game.
It's good at making bad games?
Well, I don't know. I mean, first Resident Evil movie, and excuse me for 1 second. First Resident Evil movie was pretty good.
Other than, some of the effects just because of the limitations of the time. But, you know, I don't know. I kind of like Apocalypse 2. That was all right. I think that was the one in Vegas.
Ugh.
You didn't like that one?
That's like tan colored and brown and stuff, right? Yeah.
I like parts of that.
To be honest, I can't remember if I like that movie or not. We could do a fucking series where we watch every one of them and grade them, but I don't know.
Is there enough time in the world to do that?
Yeah, there is. Those movies are only like an hour and 20 minutes long.
Yeah, but how many of them are there?
I think there's 5
at least
or 6.
Well, and then you're gonna delve into the Netflix specials and shit?
No. I'm talking about Mila Jokovic. Mila Jokovic. Mila Jokovic. Mila Jokovic out. Yep.
Resident Evil.
I think there might be 7
movies.
I think it might be 7
movies. There are 6 on Google. Resident Evil is the first one. Apocalypse is the second one. Extinction is the one I was talking about.
Oof.
That was the Vegas one. Resident Evil Afterlife, Retribution, and the final chapter. The budget for all of the movies between 2002 and 2016 was $313 million, and they grossed $1.28 billion.
Right. Well, I mean, people like them, I guess.
Resident Evil has been canceled.
That's the show.
Yep, sure has. Yep. Yep. I think that's all we got to really say right now, don't you think? Everything here. Oh, well, yeah, we can save it. I care. You don't care? Okay. I think it's cool. Okay, fine. No, I know. Yeah, it is. Well, 10:30, 2 o'clock. Oh. Right. True. Not all of them together, though. We could do that. That was pretty fucking long. Good time. Watch this alongside Lord of the Rings. See which one's longer. See if any of our taters precious line up. And the yeahs. Good band. They just came out with a new album, I believe, and there was one song on there. Can't remember what it's called, but it was really good. Played it on the radio the other day, and I like the yeahs. So yeah, it was cool. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure like, subscribe, ring the bell. Instead, make put a comment down there about House of the Dragon. What you think? Yeah, and then Twitch too. Make sure you give us a little follow. Subscribe if you feel so inclined. And with that, I guess we shall see y'all next week. We'll be talking a whole bunch. There you go. All right, everybody. Peace.